Missanelli Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. And we have ventured into the world of Super Bowl chat. I cannot believe it. One game has flipped this whole thing. And I'm not even talking about locally. I'm talking about nationally. The respect that the Eagles are getting after beating the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm reading a couple of these projection charts. The Eagles are just a notch below the Lions, which is what I said yesterday. There was that tier after the Lions and before the rest of the league, and the Eagles are right there. I'm looking at one that says this is the Super Bowl now, Super Bowl favorites. Chiefs, Lions, Bills, Eagles ahead of the Ravens. Bill Colarulo, who was tooting his horn yesterday, is all about it. You know, we went over some statistics and said, well, the Commanders have a better chance to win a division, but not the ones I've seen today. Apparently overnight a poll has been taken, and the Eagles have surged up the poll because they're now ahead of the likes of the Commanders and the Vikings and the Falcons and the 49ers and the Packers. So we're talking about now just maintain. The way it looks now, they're on a collision course for the NFC Championship game with the Detroit Lions. And who was thinking that a couple weeks ago? We were all caught up in, oh, my God, this season, I don't know where it's going to go. They're not getting respected. Everybody's criticizing the head coach. Everybody's criticizing the quarterback. They're not good enough, blah, 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 blah. All of a sudden, the head coach has the monkey off his back. The quarterback is now one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the league. The coordinators, who we doubted early in the year, are now brilliant, and especially the defensive coordinator, where the metrics are fantastic. So I guess we got to address this now. We have to address with their Eagle fans. Listen, I know that Philadelphia sports fans are these fans that don't want to go too far. They always want to protect themselves. They always don't want to, put themselves out there and jinx themselves or set themselves up for a colossal disappointment when it doesn't happen. So I want to gauge where the fan base is right now with the respect for the Eagles actually doing something this year. Bill Colarulo is here. Ray Dunn is here. Bill, let's go to you because you were kind of insufferable yesterday with your admiration for the head coach, more than your admiration for the actual team. But this is a topic we need to discuss today. I need to get the fan base engaged on whether this is a reality or whether this is just whipped cream icing on top of a sponge cake. What is it?
Whipped cream ice cream on top of a
whipped
sponge?
Cream icing.
Oh, icing on top of a sponge.
Or as a lot of people would say, icing, which I don't get at all. But tell me.
We say a lot of things wrong. This team is absolutely a contender. There's no reason for fans not to be bought in with this football team. And I understand you still have the heartbreak of the way last season ended. It's a different team. It's a different coaching staff with regard to the coordinators. It's different personnel. But more importantly, it's a different NFC. Because outside of the Detroit Lions, which everyone would agree right now are the cream of the crop, there's not a lot of teams that you would look at in the NFC and say, yes, they are powerhouses. There's no way that the Philadelphia Eagles can win a playoff game. There's no way that they can get to a Super Bowl. This team, the Philadelphia Eagles, are a top 8 offense, and they're a top 7 defense right now. This is real. So when you look at the NFC as a whole and you think, well, what teams would give them trouble? Well, they've already beat the Packers. The San Francisco 49ers look decimated with injuries and everything else. Maybe they're going to be able to turn a corner. The Cowboys are done already. I'm not buying the Minnesota Vikings and Sam Darnold. They're okay, but are you afraid of them? Really, the only team that you should be concerned about is the Detroit Lions, and there's a lot of season left. So I think fans should buy in. This is a true Super Bowl contender. And don't take our word for it. Look at the Super Bowl odds, Mike. The Philadelphia Eagles right now have the 3rd best odds, according to Vegas, to win the Super Bowl in the NFC, behind only the Detroit Lions and, surprisingly, the San Francisco 49ers. They still have with better odds, which shocks me. So buy in, man. Buy in, Philadelphia. Let's have some fun. You talked about with the Phillies, the Negadelphia mindset, people not wanting to get hurt. And I get it. You look at last season. Look how it ended after that start. It's a different team. Buy in, enjoy it. We look forward all season to the NFL, or all offseason, I should say, to the NFL. And now it's here. And guess what? You got a pretty damn good team. A pretty damn good team, Mike.
Well, I listen. You know me. I don't go to the other side unless I'm convinced to go to the other side. I'm not like a lot of Philadelphia fans who protect themselves. I just look at it as reality. I need a lot more substance for me to buy into this. I gotta be honest with you. I'm not denying it, because right now it does look like they're the second best team in the NFC. But I need to see a lot more than one game over the Cincinnati Bengals, if you know what I'm saying. So we're on two different plateaus here. You're bought in. There's no question.
I'm bought in.
You're bought in. I am, okay. I saw what I saw. That was impressive. But I need a lot more, because I see a stumble coming. And I wonder what the reaction is when the stumble comes. And I think the stumble's coming maybe against the Rams, maybe against the Steelers. One of those games is going to be a stumble. And then we're going to go back to saying, well, are they good enough with this head coach, with this quarterback? It's going to happen. So you just got to ride out a season. Now, am I feeling good about the fact that they're the second best team? Yeah. Do I think that they're as good as the Lions? No. And in a match of an NFC title game, if they have to play in Detroit, I don't think they would win that game. But they could convince me otherwise with a steady stream of impressive wins here.
This is why I'm bought in, and I get where you're coming from. But this offseason, when we looked at this team and we looked at the roster, there was a few question marks. On offense, there was no denying the amount of weapons that you had. But what were the question marks? The question marks were, well, how is Cam Jurgens going to adjust to center? How's your right guard play going to be? And then most importantly, how's your starting quarterback? Is he the 2023 guy or is he the 2022? Well, I think Cam Jurgens has answered the bell. He's fine at center. At right guard, Mekhi Becton and even Tyler Steen have looked very good. So now you go to the quarterback. To start the season, I had my concerns with Jalen Hurts. The turnovers were a huge issue. But the last 3 weeks, if this guy has truly figured it out and he's starting to feel comfortable in the Kellen Moore offense, and they're starting to realize the way to win football games is to lean on your running game, allow Jalen Hurts then to pick his spots to AJ and Devontae. There's no questions for me on this offense. I feel great about the offense. Well, what were the other concerns? The defense. To start the year, they were in the bottom of almost every single category. They now sit in the top 10 of almost every single category. And it's because of guys like Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell and even Nolan Smith and these young players starting to show that they can play. So I look at this young defense and think, they're only going to get better. They're only going to get better as this season goes forward. That's why I'm buying in, because all the questions I had this offseason have been answered and will continue to get answered and hopefully improve.
I can't deny that. But what I think is, first and foremost, what marks this team right now is how they have settled in on offense. Now, a lot of when we judged them as, they're not good, Sirianni's not good enough, was without their two wide receivers. So since they have come back, for instance, the numbers indicate it. Like in the first 4 games, Hurts averaged 33 pass attempts per game because that's the way they thought they had to do it. But they have now settled into, we are a run-first team, which lessens the load on Hurts. He's now averaging 19.7 passes per game, while his efficiency has gone through the roof. And during his 3-game win streak, he's completing 71% of his passes. So what does that indicate? It indicates that they have settled into a base where their running attack completely balances the fact that he doesn't have to take chances.
I think you're right. I think you're right. It's not, we talked last week about the term game manager, and I think he's more than a game manager. You saw that against the Bengals, that when you need big plays, Jalen Hurts can deliver. That pass to Devontae Smith, we talked about, what was it, over 50 air yards. But it's just they're figuring out the recipe to success, and I think fans should buy in, and I'm curious how they feel on this. I am curious how our fan base is right now after 7 games, 8 weeks, and not only looking at the Eagles, but looking around the NFL. Really, are there any teams where you say to yourself, man, yeah, we're done? Like last year, you kind of knew when the 49ers came to town and they dominated the Eagles, even though the Eagles were 10-1, you kind of knew at that point, wow, the Eagles aren't on their level. There's no shot for this team. I don't see that happening this season. Especially, I know the Lions are the team you're worried about. You don't have to play them. You probably won't have to play them until an NFC Championship game. I'll worry about it then. So I think you should feel pretty good right now.
All right, let's see. Ray, I mean, you've heard two different perspectives here. Where are you as we go into our first break?
I'll be honest with you. I'm starting to move towards the Bill camp on this one.
Oh, look at this.
Bring it, Ray.
He's moving towards the Bill camp.
I love it, Ray.
He's never into Bill camp.
Yeah, I mean, look at the rest of the NFL. Like that to me right now, I look at the rest of the NFC.
Oh, my God. We're actually thinking Super Bowl. 610-632-0975 is how you get in to the Mike Missanelli Show. I want to hear from you today. What camp are you in? Are you buying into the Super Bowl hype? All they have to do is beat the Lions to get to the Super Bowl. Mike Missanelli Show. Back after this. Cincinnati. You know what? We came into the crossover with the morning show with John and Andrew. The topic came up because apparently Kincade had expressed his displeasure with Penn State fans, calling them insufferable. We'll get to that a little later in the show.
Yeah, John got you all worked up, and now I got to spend 4 hours with him.
He called Penn State fans insufferable, and the only reason that people do that is out of jealousy. And so we'll address that in a little bit. Not quite yet, but in a little bit. You hang on for that because I have some things to say about that.
Yeah, you got to.
And you know that I am a very objective Penn State. Like I don't buy. I understand why people who don't go there don't like it. You've been
objective. You're not even picking them to win this week.
But it's primarily out of jealousy that they don't like it. And then and you can deny that as much as you want, but I will prove that a little later in this show.
All right, we'll save it. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we will talk about that. That's coming up later. But right now, we got to address this Philadelphia Eagles situation where it is amazing that before we went into Sunday's game, there was all this consternation about what they were. And it took one game, Bill. This is where I go, nah, I need more than one game. I get it. They were complete in that game against a pretty good team, but I need more than one game. The majority of people, I don't even know it's the majority. This is what the test is. Is it the majority of people who feel like you? That, yes, the legit Super Bowl contenders. I don't go there.
Has it been only one game, though?
Well, of course it has.
Well, let's look back.
what are you talking about?
Look back, because you go, okay, they beat the Green Bay Packers week one, and they turned the ball over 3 times in that game, the Eagles, and they still found a way to win. Then you come home, you play the Atlanta Falcons. Saquon catches that ball, you're 2-0.
Yeah, but he didn't catch the ball. Like, stop. Go back if he catches the ball. They lost the game.
But that was a winnable game, correct?
But a lot of games are winnable that you don't win.
But they were winnable. Then they go down to New Orleans. New Orleans was playing very well at the time, and they played really well defensively against New Orleans. But what else did they do? They turned the ball over twice on offense, and they still found a way to lose the game or win the game. I see people in our YouTube chat, but what happened against Tampa? Because the last 3 weeks, the Eagles have dominated.
Well, because give it away now. This is what I'm talking about up the road. Until you prove to me you're not going to give it away.
But against Tampa, one, it's a back-to-back road game, which is tough, and you did it without Lane Johnson, without A.J. Brown, without Devontae Smith.
So let's cut to the chase. Okay?
What I'm saying is it's not just one game.
Yes, it is. Before Cincinnati, did we really know what this team was? Seriously, let's be serious about that.
So,
were we really convinced that they were a good team before we saw their performance against the Bengals?
That helped. But look, we talked about this last week, and I said, weren't we being naive to think that to start the season that this team was going to be immediately firing on all cylinders with all the change that they had? So now you look at this football team and how they've continued to progress, and now Jalen Hurts is progressing, that you look at it and say, yeah, there's no reason. I'm not predicting a Super Bowl, but they are contenders.
Did we see that on Sunday before Sunday? The line was 2.5. We didn't even know they were going to actually cover the spread.
Yeah, but
you weren't saying, "Oh, this team's so much better than the Bengals are going to beat the Bengals." You weren't saying that.
No, and I still think the Bengals are a good football team.
So you took the Bengals game and you injected that into yourself, and now you're all Super Bowl happy. It took the one game to flip you there.
But it was an ascension. It was looking at it from the start of the year to the point we are now, where you say, and I'm not predicting a Super Bowl. I'm not saying they're the favorites.
First of all,
they are contenders.
You brought up the Super Bowl. You were the guy that brought it up.
Because they're contenders, baby. Super Bowl contenders. I'm happy to say that today. Super Bowl contenders.
We got some text on the Super Bowl talk. Ray, what are people saying?
Smitty from South Jersey, you guys went from overreacting early in the season with the top 2 wide receivers out and a Saquon drop of an easy pass to win a game, acting like none of that mattered, to now asking if they are a contender. Unreal. How about you guys get proper perspective for once?
Is that the bill?
I assume that's directed.
I got perspective.
Yeah.
My perspective is people are now looking at this team like a Super Bowl team, and I go, yeah, right now they seem to be secondary to the Lions. That doesn't mean they're a Super Bowl team because they're not as good as the Lions, but they are in the conversation depending on what's going on in the NFC. But I also say, for me, it's got to take more than one game, one impressive game.
Well, Mike, I'm curious for you, and this might be a question for the entire fan base of where the buy-in point is, because you mentioned the stumble down, Rams, Steelers. That's down the line at this point.
Yeah.
So how much are you learning from the next couple of weeks?
They're not going to lose the Jaguars.
Yeah, we'll learn something if they lose to the Jaguars, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're not going to lose that game. So if they continue to be impressive and they roll up a couple wins in a row, piggybacking off the Cincinnati game where they play at the same level, well, then I'm convinced. Like I can't go from 0 to 100 in just one game. They were impressive.
What would you look at this team right now, right? What would you look at and say that's what concerns me? I'm not sold on that, and that's why they're not contenders. Because when I look at this football team, the only thing that could potentially hold them back would be the front four being able to generate enough pressure. But you've started to see now Fangio get a little creative in the way that they create pressure.
All right, here's what the reality for me. The Eagles are our primary running team now, and they base everything off of that. I think that they have found that this is going to be their most successful way of scoring points. So there's going to be a team, and it was Cincinnati early. There's going to be a team that figures out that if you stop Saquon Barkley, now it's going to be difficult because the two wide receivers are tough to cover for an entire game. I get it. But it is possible that some defensive-minded scheme could limit that, and then Hurts has to make plays. Now, he made a couple plays against Cincinnati. He's going to have to show me he can make those plays almost every game.
So it's the quarterback that's holding you back.
It's the quarterback being able to make plays when you shut down what their bread and butter is, which is the run.
See,
now, and he passed that first test against Cincinnati. He's going to have to pass a couple more of these tests for me to go, yes.
So it's the quarterback.
Yeah, of course, because he was a turnover guy. And now the last two games he hasn't turned the ball over. So if he is a different quarterback like that, then I'm in.
So then,
he's the quarterback. Come on.
So for a lot of people out there who are maybe reluctant to say, yes, they are Super Bowl contenders, it's probably because they don't yet believe in Jalen Hurts again.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it is. I'm just telling you, I believe in him, but he's going to have to show me that he doesn't turn the ball over when they stop what the Eagles do best. Now, they got the Jags. That should be a bop. The Cowboys, who knows? The Commanders.
That'd be a big game.
Rams, Ravens. These are important games where he's going to have to make the same type of plays. 610-632-0975. We'll get to the calls after this. Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5. The Fanatic, 610-632-0975. The 10 o'clock hour is brought to you by Window Nation. Take advantage of Window Nation's 50% off sale on all style windows plus make no down payment, no payments, and no interest for 12 full months. Just call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. Steelers win last night over the hapless New York Giants. And the Yankees, it breaks my heart. Breaks my heart. Even though I hate the Dodgers, the Yankees are down 3-0 with their fans leaving the building in the 7th inning. What do you know about that, Bill, huh?
I'm sure those tickets weren't cheap either.
How about these big sluggers not coming through?
I knew the Dodgers were good, man. I didn't realize that they were this dominant, though. But, yeah, you're right. The Yankees sluggers aren't showing up, but the Dodgers look like they would have been a tough team to beat.
A guy on second base that they can't even score with a ball dumped into a left field area where a guy should score standing up.
That was so bad.
Right like that.
It's really,
Right like that.
like Joe Biden was rounding third base.
It was so tough to watch him run.
Come on, man. Seriously.
Also, the base coach, what are you doing sending him?
Yeah, well, really, the base coach, you go, that's a run. I can't hold him. I can't hold him there because everybody will be on my ass if I hold him at third.
It's not a new phenomenon, though. Stanton hasn't been able to run for like a couple of years now.
It's ridiculous the way he was trying to. Lord have mercy.
Did you,
Slow motion.
were you flipping back and forth between them and the Giants-Steelers game, or mostly the
No,
Yankees?
I didn't watch football last night. Yeah.
You didn't miss much.
No, it was a tough. Refs were rough
I
last
was
night.
watching other shows, and then I flipped the game on in the last part of it. I was going intermittent. Walker Buehler, when he's healthy, is tough, and he was tough players. They couldn't touch him. That big lineup couldn't touch him. He's good.
But the reason I asked if you watched the football. So did you see? Was it George Pickens that caught the ball and tapped the same foot twice?
Yes.
Was Pickens? Did you see this replay, Mike?
No.
So in the back of the end zone, Pickens does something that you wouldn't even think is possible. He goes up, jumps to catch the football. He lands on his left foot, and then the way that he gets hit, leaves the ground again and lands on his left foot again. So he double taps the same foot.
And that was no good.
Incomplete.
Yeah. Can't double tap the same foot.
But when you watch it, it looks like it should be a catch. I guess technically under the rule, he didn't get both feet in, but didn't it look like it should have been a catch, right?
2 feet should be 2 feet, right? Wrong?
Yeah, I got to be honest. I don't watch that game because I have no interest in either team.
Well, the reason I watched it.
I really don't like. I don't like the Steelers because of the way the state is divided over our interest between the Eagles and the Steelers. And Steeler fans are insufferable. You talk about a fan base that's insufferable. It's that fan base, and the Giants just stink. I just don't.
Giants
enjoy,
stink.
I don't enjoy watching bad football like that.
Yeah, I watched it because they have to play. The Eagles have to play the Steelers later in the year. So I wanted to be all right. How do they look with Russell Wilson? There's no reason the Eagles shouldn't beat them. But you say their fans are insufferable. I got to say. I went to an Eagles-Steelers game many years ago. I was actually at Gettysburg. We drove from Gettysburg, a friend and I, all the way to Pittsburgh. We get out in the middle of a tailgate. I'm wearing Eagles gear. Everybody's in Pittsburgh Steelers gear, and I hear, "Yo, you from Philly?" And I'm thinking, all right, they're going to treat me like we get treated in Philadelphia. Like I'm going to get spit on or whatever.
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, welcome to Pittsburgh, man. Have a beer. Here's want some food?" They were the nicest people. Eagles get blown out. Instead of taunting me at the stadium, they're saying, "Listen, we're really sorry you came here for this game. We wish you the best." They were the nicest people, man.
Yeah.
So I got nothing negative to say.
See, I went to Penn State, where it's divided between the west and east of Pennsylvania, right? And these Pittsburgh idiots couldn't they couldn't be any more obnoxious. And not only that, but they had that stupid accent.
Yeah,
right. So they're obnoxious with a bad accent. So I've learned to hate the Western people.
And they put French fries on a sandwich, right? Isn't that their thing?
The Primanti sandwich.
Yeah, that's their thing.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the phones. Tom in Alabama. What's up, Tom?
Yo, Mike, how you doing?
What's happening?
Not much. Bill, how are you, big man?
Tom, hey, what's up, brother?
Not much. Hey, Mike, you went to Penn State?
Yeah. Yes, I did. That's pretty well established by this point.
Good deal. Good. Hey, the fact that the Eagles have been in just about every game except the Tampa game, I mean, we're trending in a good direction because they've only played 3 quarters in every game. They haven't played the first quarter, so we still haven't played our best football. But, it's kind of hard for me to say I'm all in. And when I explain this, when I'm saying about Hurts, and I've never doubted his skill set or anything like that. It's just his decision-making. I hope it stays where it is right now. He hasn't turned the ball over. I mean, he looked great the other day. But, we have to also keep in mind the Bengals are a 3-4 football team. They're not that great.
Yeah, but they're formidable. So it was good to see them play that way against a formidable team at home and a team that really needed a win. So that's impressive. I'm not going to take anything away from the Eagles beating that team. That was very impressive.
Well, I tell you, the defense, too, they stopped the run, and they've come a long way. They were tackled. That was the best tackling game I've seen in 2 years for the Eagles.
Yeah, no, you're right. Fangio's got them going now. This thing about the coordinator takes a while. I guess I have to buy into that now.
And the offensive line was clearing space, too, the other day.
With a couple of backups in there.
Right.
Oh, that's another effect of really good coaching.
And, two, another thing which is truly amazing, being the fact they haven't played the first quarter, they have stuck with the run. That really didn't go away from it, so that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
And, and DeJean and Mitchell, what can you say? Once he drops the hammer and lets DeJean come in on the blitz, he's going to blow somebody up, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Hey, Tom, where are you at in Alabama?
All the way at the bottom right south, Dothan, Alabama.
I got nieces and nephews down that way.
Really?
They're Missanellis in Alabama.
All right. Well, I'm not the only Italian in Alabama?
They're my brother's children are down there.
All right.
That's where they live.
In Dothan, Alabama?
They live in a Mobile area on the Gulf Coast.
Hey, man, make sure when you come through, you look me up.
I haven't been down there.
Really?
Yeah, I've been in Beeham a long time ago, but I haven't been down there to visit. My whole family went down to see an Alabama-Penn State game down there a few years ago.
You like it down there?
I never met. I was in Birmingham years ago.
Yeah,
but I haven't been there in like 35 years. But yeah, they're Missanelli's down there, man. My nephew Justin is this big strapping lad with a southern accent. His name Missanelli.
And the last name of Missanelli. Probably not a lot of Italians down there, I wouldn't think.
I would think. And my niece is a gynecologist obstetrician. She followed in her father's footsteps. Got her own practice down there.
Your brother that I met a couple weeks ago.
Yes. And my other nephew works at the U of A. They're Alabamians, man. They roll tide down there.
Yeah.
My nieces and nephews.
The roll tide, of course, right? You have to be.
Yeah. Yeah, they were up once hanging out at my shore house, and their whole thing is boiled peanuts down there. They love their boiled peanuts down south. You ever had boiled peanuts?
No.
They're addictive. You'll
no
think,
shell?
You think that no, they have shell, but it's soft. They're boiled and it's soft, and so the shell flakes off, and you get the soft peanut inside. They're really addictive. I didn't think I was going to like them. Now I love them. Yeah. But my man, my nephew's on my deck, and we're eating boiled peanuts, and he's flipping the shells over the side, like onto my property. I go, Holmes, what do you think? You in Alabama? We don't do that stuff up here.
Yeah. Or at Texas Roadhouse, you just throw them on the floor.
Yeah, well,
Ray's a big nuts guy.
Yeah, you like the nuts, right?
No.
You don't like nuts? No?
No, I didn't like the way it was phrased over there by Mr. Colarulo.
Oh, but do you like the actual nut? You're not a fan?
I can take it or leave it.
You don't like the nut?
Bill, give me your top 3 nuts.
Big almond guy.
You're an almond guy?
Like almonds.
Right.
Yeah. I like
Very
a nice Brazilian nut.
Oh, you like a Brazilian nut?
Yeah, Brazilian nut.
That's a quality nut. Now, they're hard to get, those Brazil nuts. You only get them in the mixed nuts.
They are. And
category for Thanksgiving.
My wife has told me, I don't know if this is true, but I like walnuts because she says it helps with your brain and your memory.
You like to crack the walnut, or you don't do the work?
No. I don't like doing any of the work.
Oh, you got to do the work. You got to get the nutcracker out. for Thanksgiving. Italian families always have
Always, man. My grandma would have it,
the
yeah.
cornucopia of nuts, the Italian family.
You're a big
Always.
no work nut guy?
Pecans,
Christmas
the big
too.
whole pecans.
Now, I love a nice banana pecan pancake. Throw little pecans in the pancake. Oh, I'm getting hungry.
I prefer a blueberry over the banana.
No, bananas. Cook them in there. Not
Yeah.
even close. Not even close.
Not even close. So the almond is used. Bill likes the nut for the health value.
Yeah, almonds are healthy.
For the health value.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the almonds for the health value.
Exactly.
And
Nice
the
handful.
walnuts.
Yeah, it's all about health, Rick.
Nuts are healthy.
You like cashews?
I do a cashew.
Cashews are too fatty.
No, I'd like a good cashew.
fatty. Not good for the muscle tone.
I like a good cashew.
He's become a cashew guy
Yeah, let's go.
since his football career.
He's got the fit wife. Well, you must not eat that bad. That's a bad nut. You must eat the nuts that are nourishing and healthy.
Yeah, like
Didn't realize
and
they
give
were
you
bad nuts.
vitamins.
Like the peanut's probably not is the least healthy of the nut, I would think.
Nothing wrong with a peanut.
I like going to the ball game and cracking
Let
the
me
peanuts.
ask you this, as an Italian. Do you like the lupini bean?
I don't think I've ever had a lupini.
Oh, you got you're a fake Italian.
I may be. What is a
the
lupini bean?
bean?
Oh, my grandma's going to kill me.
I made the homemade lupini beans. They're like they look like a lima bean, but they have a shell on
I
them.
know
and-
these now,
And
yeah.
they're soaked in like a vinegar.
I never knew that what they were called. These have been on the table.
As,
I never
as the
knew what they were
Italians say,
called.
the Lou beans.
Yeah.
You like the Lou beans? Let's go to fake Coach Allen here in Orland. What's up, fake Coach Allen?
From
What's
the
going-
blessed.
What's going on, man?
Hey, how we doing?
Good. How you doing?
From the blessed borough of heaven, oh child.
Coach Al!
Super Bowl!
Super Bowl!
The prophet of prediction. I know.
Oh, this is fake Coach Al. It says fake Coach Allen on there. You're fake Coach Al. Oh, it's Coach Al. Yeah. Unfortunately, Coach Al passed away. You know that?
Jesus Christ.
So,
I do know that.
Yeah,
This
he
is bad.
passed away. Listen, Coach Al was a classic caller back in the day who used to be called Anthony Gargano's show when he was here, and he would end the whole show by saying, "Coach Al, here it is, Coach Al," and he would go, "Eagles Super Bowl."
So fake Coach Al's
All
in.
right, fake Coach Al, what do you got?
Sirianni, 3 successful coaching challenges. Ben Van Summeren, 9 pancake blocks. Cooper DeJean, 22 tackles, 3 punt return TDs. Bryce Huff, 1 single tackle on the way to an undefeated Eagles Super Bowl.
All right. It says fake Coach Allen on there. But
Yeah. I don't know who's back there.
Was it George Allen, fake
Yeah.
Coach George Allen? No, they would introduce him by saying, from the fighting borough of Bristol. Apparently he was from Bristol. Coach Al! I go Super Bowl!
And he passed away, but it lives on. The legend lives on.
Exactly. Scrug. Scrug? Is that what that is? Scruh? In Philly. What's up, man? What are you... Is it Scrug or Scruh?
Double GS, man. Double GS.
Double GS.
Scruggs.
Scruggs. We're having some translation problems back there in the
Now he updated it.
in the phone answer. Oh, there, that's Scruggs. All right, go ahead, Scruggs.
So I just want to call and say that Bill has been absolutely on point for the last couple of weeks. You need to lay off of Bill because if you look around the NFC, this fear for the Lions is just I'm not understanding it. Their strength is running the ball, and their quarterback's QBR is 21st in the league. So if you think we can't beat a QB with a 21st ranked QBR, I'm just not understanding where this trepidation for the Lions or this hesitation.
Oh, you don't think Goff's had a good year?
He ranks 20. Hurst is number 6 ranking QBR, and Goff is ranked 21st.
All right, but he's been a pretty confident quarterback for them.
And he's a turnover machine, too. I mean, he's cleaned it up a little bit this year, but historically, he's been known to give you 1 or 2 a game. So,
All right, so the last couple weeks when Bill has been in love with Sirianni, you were agreeing with him.
You have to. He's a winning coach.
Well, you don't
He-
have
he has-
to.
He hasn't had a losing season since. I mean, he hasn't had a losing season.
Yeah, I know, but you know his silliness kind of took over that thing, and he also did. I like. Let me check with Ray. Ray, did they lose 6 of their last 7 last year?
They did.
Oh, all right. Did you know that, Scruggs?
Yeah, they did, but like Bill
all right.
said,
I'm just checking. Scruggy.
That was a good team. But, yeah, have a great day, guys.
Yo, appreciate it, Scruggs.
Look at Scruggs coming in to throw Bill a bouquet.
I appreciate it. See, the people know. The people know who's correct in this conversation. This is a good football
Not only have
team.
the Eagles flipped this town, they flipped on Bill. Now Bill is the man of wisdom.
I would like to hear from, and this was something we got on the text line a little bit, and now Scruggs opening this conversation up. The silent support group that was there for Bill, that now has said they've been there the whole time.
Yeah, where
I'm
were
very
they a couple
intrigued
weeks
to
ago?
see you now.
Yeah, well, that's one guy.
Yeah, but we had yesterday. I was reading texts to you
Oh,
supporting
really?
Bill. We had some texts that were supporting Bill. Like,
They want to think like Bill, and so that Cincinnati win, just like everything else we're talking about here, has made people go to the Bill side, which is all right.
Which is the right side.
I don't care. I'm more of a I don't overreact. But I'm more of an even keel cat.
Look, we try to be as objective as possible in this role. You try to be objective. I think people's reluctance to buy in on this football team shows a lack of objectivity, because what you're doing is you're allowing what happened last season to cloud your judgment. If you look at this team, the fact that they're 5-2, and I've said this for a couple weeks now, the fact that they are 5-2 is a lot more impressive than you saying, well, it was just the Bengals. No, they've won 5 football games and really should have won 6. They should have won 6 games if Saquon catches that ball. And they've done it with injuries and a lot of issues and a lot of change. So I expect this team to only get better down the stretch. That's why I'm declaring them a true Super Bowl contender as we sit here in Week 9. If you're being objective, this is a true Super Bowl contender. If you don't let last year's collapse affect your judgment, which was a different team,
man.
this is a true contender.
It's amazing. I think it's silly to go that far. I really do. After one game, because you weren't saying that before the Cincinnati Bengal game. So just give me a series of games that I can believe in it. Come on, man.
They've won 3 in a row.
They will beat 2 bops.
They've won 5 out of 7.
You weren't saying they were a Super Bowl contender before the Cincinnati game, were you?
Well, you wanted to see it against another
Answer
team.
the question. Were you saying they were a Super Bowl contender before Cincinnati?
What I was saying is it was going to take time for this team to gel.
Okay.
And the concerns
one
that I
game
had
was enough for them to gel for you now to sit here and say they're a Super Bowl contender.
3 games. Seeing this team grow over the last 3 weeks, and more importantly, seeing them find an identity where Jalen Hurts can protect the football, and watching a defense. My concern was mainly with the defense and Jalen Hurts. Both of those have been answered over the last 3 weeks. And if they continue to get better, watch out, Detroit.
Oh, my God. I should read this email that I got on you.
Another one? Not the same guy, I hope.
No, it's a different guy.
Man, people love emailing Mike about me.
610-6310. And I protect you at all costs. I'm a team man. The Mike Missanelli Show continues. for trial. Grungo Law, Grungo law.com. All right, in this hour, we'll hear from the coordinators, the real genius of the Philadelphia Eagles, the defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio, the offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore. They obviously have taken over this team because they've ordered the head coach to keep his hands out of the frickin' pizza dough.
Stop it. Put some respect on that guy.
So we'll hear from them at 11:30. Let's start the hour with some text. We still have some text on the Super Bowl promises of our Philadelphia Eagles, Ray.
Nick in Haddon Heights wants to ask, does the idea that the Stars don't play the preseason the first 4-ish games of the regular season or the new figure-it-out time period hold any weight? Are the Birds just finally figuring out their identity and becoming a cohesive unit, especially with a new coordinator on both sides of the ball?
Oh, we can't let that go, that preseason experience angle. So, Bill, I'll let you answer that.
It's a fair point to make. It's a fair point to make that it just flows with the fact that they got new coaches and they have new personnel, and the fact that they don't play a lot in the preseason. Yeah, it takes some time to figure it out. I think we put too much weight into it.
I think he's saying that they should have played more in the preseason, our texter here.
Maybe they should have, but again, even if they would have played in the preseason,
they weren't going to play long.
And you're 5-2.
Yeah, so
you're a catch away from being 6-1.
Yeah, so I don't think it's even a relevant point. You can't play guys enough to get used to a new system in preseason anyway. You're just so afraid of injury. So to me, it's futile to even bring that point up anymore.
And you look at the way the Eagles have handled it over the last 3 years, their record in September and October has been phenomenal. I mean, they started last year 10-1, the year before 10-1, and now they're 5-2. So, yeah, maybe things would have been a little cleaner if they would have played in the preseason, but the risk of injury, it's not worth the reward.
All right. Anything else, Ray?
Yeah, Finn from Havertown here. I've bought into the Super Bowl hype all year. We were 4 games into the season, and everybody in the city lost their minds, just like they do every year. This team is legit. They just needed to adjust having not 1, but 2 new coordinators, which no team in the league has to deal with this year. Also, Jalen Hurts could throw for 600 yards and 8 touchdowns, and we would say that he hasn't shown us enough. MVP run-up 2 seasons ago, and he has something to prove.
Yeah, that's BS, the last point. And I love, there's always the guy out there that wants to say, I told you so, that I thought all along. Interestingly enough, he only surfaces after they beat the Bengals in their most impressive game of the year. You know?
Yeah.
So there's always that guy.
Well, there's the Bill grouping right now that's coming out that's like, we always supported Sirianni.
Yeah.
Bill's been the spokesperson for us the whole time.
I love it.
It took 1 game.
Yeah, keep the positivity coming, our text board and on our phone lines. But look, it's impossible, though, to sit here and say, yeah, you knew when the season started. And then to take the shot at Jalen Hurts could throw for 600 yards and all that. I'm a big Jalen Hurts fan, and I was hopeful that he could get back to the 2022 version. But the criticism of him has been fair. The turnovers were holding this team back last year, and they were holding this team back to start the season. So you can't sit here and act as if the criticism of Jalen Hurts was over the top. He should have been criticized. He needed to clean things up. And I think so far, the last 3 games he has, and you see how good this team can be when he's not turning it over. But I'm still high on Hurts. I think he could get back to MVP.
For the record, if he throws for 600 yards, there's nobody that's going to really criticize him. So let's put that to rest. We got one more.
Yeah, Danny from Bucks County. Listen, you are doing the same thing you did with the Phillies. When do you guys realize it's not happening? 4 out of their 5 wins are against teams with bad losing records. I'm not buying in. You guys just never learn. Only Mike knows.
Yeah, I did that with the Phillies, so I'm at fault when it comes to that. But I'm not doing that now. This football season football is weird in that you can lose it at any moment. Some game, lemon game, comes out of nowhere, and then you retreat from your expectations. So this is why I go, okay, this was a good building block. I feel like I'm playing Jenga here. Like I'm setting up the Jenga.
Yeah, it was a good game.
And you could always pull one out, it's going to fall. So, it's a slow process. Well, Jenga, actually, you pull it out of a box and it's already set up. So, but how about Lego?
There we go.
Yeah, Lego is better.
So it's interesting because you and I were on opposite sides of the Phillies argument and now the Eagles argument, because I was worried about what happened last season with the Phillies resurfacing this year. And I'm telling people to not do the same thing with the Eagles, and here's why. It's a completely different situation. The Phillies essentially brought back the exact same baseball team. everything was the same this playoffs as it was last playoffs in terms of your lineup. So to be nervous that the bats were going to go cold again, well, we saw it before. And we also saw it since the All-Star break that they weren't as dominant as they were to start the year. This Eagles team, comparing them to what happened last year, you shouldn't do because it is a lot of change. There's new personnel. There's new coaches. So even though I was concerned about the Phillies, I don't have the same fear with the Eagles, because they collapsed last year. It's a different team.
By the way, speaking of Jenga, when you think of Jenga, what do you now think of?
I don't know.
Something current. Right?
You know where he's going? I don't know.
No, I have no idea where he's going.
No flex. No flex. Well, they know better. They know better. You see that commercial?
No.
What? It's on all the time. It's like a Buffalo wing, some kind of wings commercial where they're dangling the wing in front of the guy and he's trying to play Jenga. And because of the wing smell, it takes him away from the concentration of the Jenga. And he pulls it out and the whole thing collapses. No flex.
I don't think I've seen
that song, No Flex?
I don't really watch commercials anymore.
Wingstop commercial.
Wingstop.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
I have seen it.
No, they play that song. It's like it's an earworm.
Yeah, people on YouTube have seen it. They said they hate it.
It's crazy because it's like overexposed. It's like nuts now. And you haven't seen it once?
I have not seen it once.
Oh, my God.
I mean, the only time that I watch...
What's the song? Who does the song?
I think
No
it's,
Flex song.
Ray Shremmerd does No Flex Zone. Do I have that right? No, I'll look it up.
Yeah, you're right, Ray. It's Ray. I don't watch commercials often. Like, if I'm watching the Eagles game, I watch it live. So that's the only time I'll check commercials. After that, I'm watching Red Zone, no commercials.
Yeah.
And I watch mostly streaming services. No commercials.
Well, smell you. Ray,
Ray, you probably don't watch many
they're
commercials.
on. You watch sports. This is where I see that commercial. I'm watching sports and that commercial comes on. How do you miss that commercial?
Really, outside of the Eagles games, Red Zone doesn't have commercials. I'm a Red Zone guy.
Wait, you do what? You realize there's other sports that are on television, right? This is on every sport that's televised. This
Sixers and Flyers games.
Yes.
I haven't seen it. Maybe I'm just not paying attention.
But it's on national, too. You're watching national games, right? It's a national commercial for Wingstop.
During the commercials, he's actually scrolling our YouTube chat to get his highlights from the day.
Is.
That's what I'm doing.
He's scrolling the YouTube.
That's probably right, Ray.
Bill's not a detail man.
Yeah.
Have you noticed this? He's not like, he doesn't do the minute details, the minute details.
What are you talking about? Have you seen my notebooks?
Really?
Yeah.
But you're organized when it comes, like, yeah, you got all these little tabs. So that's your law school thing. It's funny because I was looking at my law books. I did the same thing. I put the tabs.
Yeah, the different colored
tabs in there.
It
But-
could be that. He could just have the yellow legal pad in front of him during the commercials, and he's just writing notes.
It's possible.
It's possible that he just has
No
never
flex.
once watched a commercial.
No flex.
I
Come on,
have not seen it. I've not seen it. I do like the new Geico commercials with the caveman being angry at the gecko. I think those are pretty funny. I've seen those. No? You guys don't like those?
I've seen him. I didn't have much of a take on the No Flex Zone commercial.
Bill is just a unique cat, man. That's hysterical. The caveman and the gecko.
Your mind works in a very interesting way.
610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show, back after this. Missanelli Show, 610-632-0975. Well, we'll get back to the phones in a second in the text board. Well, did you see where Giselle is preggers?
Yeah, that's and I think it was
How
like
about
5
that?
or 6 months
How
pregnant.
about that? Judo man, it left a drive-through bank deposit.
How long has she been divorced from Tom?
I don't know, but the body's not even cold yet.
It's been 2 years, I think.
It has?
Yeah.
It's been that long.
How about Judo man? They first denied a relationship.
Wait, she's 44.
44.
Man, I wonder how Tom feels about this.
He left a cryptic.
Yeah, man, he's going through it.
Yeah, he left a cryptic Instagram post.
He did an Instagram
Well-
story of the sunset with, I think, Landslide is the song.
Yeah, he got weird. He got weird about it.
The man's not doing well with this news.
Well, why wouldn't he?
I don't blame him for not
You
doing
know,
well
like-
with it, but
Oh, really? Why? I mean, why would he care at this point? It's her life. She wants to get pregnant by Judo man to have a little judo kid. What's the problem?
Man, I just pulled up his
What?
Instagram.
Yeah.
It's a little cringy.
Well,
It is
it's-
cringy, but why cringy? Like what? So is he still in love with her? Is that what it is? He thought about getting back with her. Now this is the clincher.
Mirror in the sky, what is love?
He came back
Brady's
for what?
posting that?
A sub
Yeah,
500 Bucks season? Like,
Hey,
you know,
my
you
man
think that
just
there's a little bit of
bought
regret?
into an NFL team. He's got a $300 million contract to broadcast. He's got 3 kids as it is. Why does he care that she wants one?
Maybe there's more to. Maybe he realized that football wasn't everything.
You know, she did that, though. That probably just go, I could do that. I'm going to have a child with Judo man. And so
could-
how do you like that?
She could be in love with the guy.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, there's pictures of them horseback riding together and everything.
Well, Judo man came right in there, man. He put the full court press on there.
I don't know how I would feel if my girl used to be married to the greatest football player of all time. It'd be a little.
If you're Judo man?
Yeah, wouldn't you feel a little inferior, I guess?
Well, that's what happened to that one of J-Lo's husbands. You remember that guy, poor guy? What was his name? He was a dancer and a backup dancer and Chris something? Was it Chris?
I can't keep up with J-Lo's guys.
J-Lo's married a guy who was a backup dancer. And then she dispatched him like right quick. And like so right now I can see him. He's got a missing tooth at a bar, and he's watching TMZ with stories of his ex-wife. What was his name, dude?
I don't
Come on.
remember.
Come on,
I don't remember.
Dude, you're Mr. Google over here. Google her husbands.
Husbands.
She had Mark Anthony, right?
So it was Ben Affleck, Mark Anthony, Chris Judd.
That's it, Chris Judd.
That only lasted 2 years.
There you go. My man was out.
Oh, yeah, American dancer and actor.
Dancer. He got pushed out the gate real quick.
I feel like though from her current, I guess I don't know if husband or significant other perspective, if she chose you after Tom Brady, I don't know if I'm necessarily insecure about that one. I might be, you know.
I listen. She has a right to live her life. If she wants to get pregnant, there's nothing he could do to prevent that.
Oh yeah, no.
But why would he be bugged about it?
I think because
Other than he's probably still in love with her.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. He chose a sub 500 Bucks team
You know what it is, too, though?
over that.
I'm going to get deep here now.
Oh,
I think
Bill's going deep.
when people have their ex, their former significant other, dating other people, that's one thing. But when you take that step to have a child with them, that kind of brings it to an entirely different level of intimacy and future. So I think maybe Tom Brady's just working through his feelings. Like maybe he's over her, but then to see her pregnant with another man's child.
Well, it's a finality in a lot of ways.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's like the
closed.
final nail in the coffin for the relationship.
Yeah, it's like, you can never go back now. There's always that glimpse of maybe you can go back. Maybe time goes on and this was really where we were meant to be together. But then once she does that, it's like, I got Judo Man's kid now. So you're out.
So Tom Brady is human, though, because there's times you would look at him and think he's a robot, just like Jalen Hurts was.
I think Kevin Burkhardt ought to ask him about it. Like
On the air.
Yeah, prior to the game, like in the analysis.
That'll go
So
over
let's analyze your ex-wife.
chances that Gronk
Well, as a baby
slips,
bump, how you feel about that, Tommy?
Yeah.
I think that's your best case, like your best chance of this happening is Gronk slipping up and saying something on the air. That would be the one person I could see. Burkhardt, no, professional. Gronk, maybe.
I just wish the Brady roast happened now.
You know what it is?
That's a
It's
good point.
also men are men, right? So the notion of somebody that was with them having sex with somebody else is it's juvenile, but because it's reality, but it's still the ego of a man. It hits you,
And Brady's got a big ego.
of course.
Yeah. Oh, and you just reminded me, we're switching gears for a second, of them in the broadcast booth. They just announced who's going to be in the broadcast booth for the Eagles game this
Oh,
season.
are they getting an upgrade from Team Z?
I need you to finally come through on with this guy, sending that guy a text to getting that guy on this program.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to text him again. Tiki Barber's going to be in the booth.
Oh, that's your boy, Tiki.
Yeah. So he's been promising me he's going to come on, and then there's always something that comes up.
Who's Tiki with? Who's his partner?
You know what? I saw it, and now I forget.
I just saw Tiki, and my first thought was, oh, Bill's boys. on the call.
Yeah, Tiki Barber.
Yeah, this is down the list of teams too. They're still not getting the primo
There it is.
teams.
It's Andrew
Catalan.
Catalan, Tiki Barber,
Yeah.
Jason McCourty, and AJ
To be
Ross.
fair, it's the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, true.
who's throwing out the A team for a Jaguars
Yeah,
game?
you're right. You're right. All right. Yeah, but they're a Super Bowl contender now.
This was supposed to be
the Jaguars.
They're a Super Bowl contender.
Well, really, the NFL, I mean, it turned out to be a great game because of the Hail Mary, but they kind of messed up moving Hurts and Burrow off of that 4 o'clock slot. That Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels matchup turned out to not be that great.
Yeah,
there
but
was
it was
one
a-
touchdown in
It
that
had
game.
more sizzle.
It was a game to the end.
Yeah, it had more sizzle.
No,
True.
All right, let's go.
was
We have
low.
a very long text from Joe in Jersey.
yes. Joe in Jersey couldn't call in today, but wanted this to be read verbatim. Bill, you are not objective about the fans' thought process. As Mike said yesterday, you are trying to litigate thought. It is getting to the insufferable point where I almost consider not listening because of how green your blinders are. You are truly an injury returning at heart because you argue like one. I'm with Mike. They're improving, and it's encouraging to see them progressing. Last week, they looked better than they have at any point since the Super Bowl. Great. Let's see that continue as the season progresses. As they progress, Sirianni will win back some trust and erase some of my skepticism. However, you love to say last year's team was a different team than this year's. Okay, that's true for the coordinators and the defensive roster. But Sirianni is the constant
There it
holdover,
is.
and that collapse doesn't just go away because you keep saying this is a different team. All CEO leaders look great in good times. Real leaders are revealed when times are bad, and they're able to instill confidence and right the ship. When did Nick show that last year? You say all Sirianni does is win, but I'm more concerned with what kind of leader he is when they lose and things aren't going well. Nick certainly gave us plenty of material to see how he responds to bad times, especially in a contract year where the Eagles will have to decide to bring him back. So I don't think it's bad for fans to
Still
keep a
going.
skeptical eye. I know, man. I need to take a breath at some point. To keep a skeptical eye on Nick, especially when Howie allegedly hired the new coordinators and certainly constructed the roster. Additionally, when the slow start looked a lot like the offense had the Eagles' first 7 games at 27 and the last 7 at 23. By the way, as a part-time musician, your singing is an insult to every human sense of hearing, and the audio from yesterday should be used for torture.
Wow, Joe.
Yeah, he went way off.
Man, he had to sit there and text. That's a long
That was
text.
a long text.
It was a very long.
I need a
text.
break.
Well, I got to respond to a couple things. First of all, I knew it was coming at the end that his true colors would show. It's just because he's not a fan of Sirianni. I get it. But I hate that I get accused of having green-colored glasses. I've gotten called Bill Spadaro because I'm objective and not over-the-top negative. See, here's what bothers me about some fans in this city. If you criticize the team, which I've done at times when it calls for it, oh, this is Philly sports media for you. They just love to be negative. And then when you're not negative and you try to be objective and point out that there's a lot of good with this football team, go ahead, Ray.
So much good.
Now you're Bill Spadaro. Now you got green-colored glasses on. I am as objective as they come, Joe from Jersey. And you are not objective, Joe, because you're letting last year and Nick Sirianni affect you. You're letting them affect you too much.
Well, show.
It is the fun.
610-632-0975. I'll just give you a little hint on this. Hey, Mike, I'll be honest with you. You really might want to consider pulling a Jerry Jones with the position of Bill Colruyt.
Oh, man. Come from Jeff? Yo, Jeff.
We're back after this. And at the podium right now, the defensive coordinator is Vic Fangio.
The team tackling numbers have been good the last 3 weeks coming out of the bye. I'm curious what you attribute that to.
Just better overall play by the whole defense. You know, we had in some of those earlier games, running backs getting through the second, third level too easily, and those are hard tackles. You know, I just think we've played better overall.
I know you guys have changed up the practice elements of tackling. Has that helped at all?
Yeah, anytime you emphasize something and practice it, it's going to get better.
On that fourth down play, where Cooper got sort of scraped over the top and looked like they were trying to out-leverage him, how rare is it for a rookie to be able to diagnose that type of thing?
Well, he did a good job of keeping his eyes on it. He's had that play in practice, you know, in the last few weeks with guys trying to, you know, mess with you with the motion and get your eyes off him. He did a good job keeping his eyes on him the entire time, and that's really what allowed him to make the play.
Getting the two takeaways, I know you've been close, like in a couple of the previous games. Like, how much of a difference does that make, and can that kind of snowball, do you think?
Makes a huge difference. I mean, you know, those last three drives, not counting the last one, but, you know, the fourth down stop is like a takeaway. The interception and then the quick fumble. I mean, 3 series get stopped right away and has a huge effect on everything, both defense's confidence to make a play like that, field position for the offense. You know, I believe it was just a 7-point game on the fourth down stop, and all of a sudden we have the ball already in field goal range. So huge. They're huge plays.
As a coach, what part of the interception did you most appreciate?
It was a great play by Isaiah, against a really good receiver and a really good quarterback. He got his hand on the ball. He didn't panic. A lot of times guys panic when the ball's up in the air like that on a deep ball. He didn't panic, got his hand on it, and luckily Chauncey was there to get the lollipop.
You said that's something you drove, that type of play?
Well, yeah, that's something that corners have to be able to master, playing those deep balls.
Zach and Nakobe, and you've mentioned how little experience they both have at that position. What have you seen from their growth from maybe the start of camp or even OTAs till now, individually and as a unit?
Yeah, I think they're both getting better and better each and every week. In Zach's case, especially, he's never played inside linebacker, so this whole season is new to him. Nakobe played it in college, although didn't play much his first 2 years. So as far as just being on ILB, Nakobe actually has more experience. But I think they've both done a good job of growing in the position. I think Bobby's done a really good job coaching them, and they're getting better and better.
When it comes to were you worried at all about this team's defensive depth at the start of the season, and have some of those concerns been allayed through what you've seen?
Every team has its depth issues. It's hard to have quality backups everywhere. You hope you have them at some places. And when we've had the call on guys, they've come in and done a nice job.
When it comes to in-game adjustments, how much of that narrative is true, and how much is it just, really more just a product of you switching to whatever defenses you have at your disposal based upon what you're seeing offensively?
Yeah, when you say in-game adjustments, I think they don't have to be drastic stuff, to where you draw something up on the sideline and put something totally new, and it's just, shifting gears as to how you're playing a certain team, whether it be because you're having trouble or whether it be because, just to give them different looks. So the adjustments are ongoing. Some of them are through the normal flow of the game. Some of them are because you're having trouble. And some of them are because you don't want to get too tendency-ed in what you're doing yourself.
Speaking of depth, I know they're more in the background, but what have you seen lately from Keely Ringo and Eli Riggs? What have you noticed?
Yeah, Keely's came in one of the games recently and did well in his few plays. He's been practicing good, so feel very confident about him. Eli hadn't had any action, I don't believe, in the regular season so far, but in training camp had a nice camp. And if he has to suit up and be ready to go, he'll be ready to go.
When it comes to the younger players in general, and they're growing and getting better, how much of that is them being more comfortable with the scheme versus you figuring out what they do best?
Yeah, probably more of the first part than the second, but that's part of it too. So I would say 75-25.
Vic, with the trade deadline coming up, is there any position that you're advocating for, want to see a move at?
No.
So you feel good about the kind of state of the roster defensively then?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to improve your team drastically this time of year. I mean, I think if you look at some of those trades over the years, they really haven't had the effect that some teams were hoping for. Unless it's a trade that, where you're getting a guy that you're going to have for a few years, where it's more of a bigger trade than swapping guys, trading a sixth for a seventh, those type things.
The teams are seeing a lot of empty this year. What's the key in combating that?
Yeah, it's hard. They spread you out. It makes the game more one-on-one-ish. The ball usually comes out quicker. And it tests your ability. It really does.
It seems like you've kind of settled into a nice rotation at edge rusher. What kind of impresses you about like that group as a whole? And then do you see Jalix Hunt kind of mixing his way in there, as the season goes on?
Yeah, that's possible that he could mix his way in there. But I think the group overall plays well. They take pride in their performance both as individuals and as the unit. And I think Wash does a good job with them, and especially rotating them during the game. And I think overall the unit's playing good.
When it comes to the guy with the green dot that you're calling plays into, is it just as simple as him relaying what you said, or is there a skill set that's involved with that? And does N'Kobe have anything that sets him apart from other guys that you've had that relationship with?
Yeah, some guys are more comfortable with it. There's been some players in the league that don't want it. They want somebody else to handle it and get the call. They don't want the added burden of it. N'Kobe likes doing it. When we do go to 6 DBs and Bond stays in the game, he does it. Now, when he does it, it has to be more through signals because you can't have two of them. But if we know N'Kobe's not going to, like at the 2-minute drive at the half the other day, which only turned out to be 2 plays, we put it in Zach's helmet because we went to dime.
And when signs are being sent in, who does it from the sideline? Who you really?
Bobby King.
Bobby, and then Bobby gets.
Yeah.
How important do you think Christian Parker is to the level that you're getting from the Cooper?
Very important. I think he does a good job with them. Does a good job in the meetings, spends individual time with them in his office, which helps with a lot of guys. He's doing an excellent job with them for sure.
You mentioned the trade deadline with players, maybe not matching up to what teams wanted or needed out of them. It sounds like you studied that a little bit. Why don't you think that performance comes that quickly?
Well, I mean, each and every case is different, obviously. Sometimes the guys come in with no prior relationship with the coaches and everything's totally new. I think if the guy had been with you somewhere along the line and has system knowledge and comfortability, that helps. Every scenario is a little different. Every position's a little different, too.
You've made the point that you're a youngish defense since the beginning. Have any of those young guys surprised you beyond what you expected?
Young guy. Not really. Q's done well since we got him here. We thought he was going to be a good player when we drafted him, and he's been that since we got him. Really didn't know much about Cooper because he missed all the training camp, didn't know what it would look like when he got out there. He's done well these last couple of weeks. Jalix hadn't gotten much playing time. But, Nolan's done well and keeps improving. Who else we talking about there?
Kobe's kind of still.
Yeah, just more playing time is these guys will naturally improve.
You mentioned the positions are different when you're bringing guys in. What positions do you think defensively are a little easier? Which ones are a little harder for guys to come in and be able to contribute right away?
ILB's probably a little harder. Safety's a little harder. Maybe corner's a little easier, maybe depending upon how you're playing. Maybe D-line a little easier, again, depending upon how you're playing.
You faced Trevor Lawrence as a...
You guys can look at
In the first press conference back in camp, you said you had no problems playing rookies if they were worthy of playing. What indicators did you look for early on that shows they're worthy?
Just their play, how they're performing in practice, and then hopefully taking it to the preseason games and showing it. Just their play overall.
You saw Trevor Lawrence very early into his career, and he struggled in that game. But, what do you see now, 3 years later, that makes him different?
Yeah, he's highly talented. He's got a big arm, really good scrambler. He's fast when he pulls it down and runs, can make every throw. I think he does a good job running their offense. You can feel that, it's his third year there now with that coaching staff, so there's familiarity. They do some audibling. He's got a good command of that. I just think he's a really good player, both from a talent standpoint and quarterback intangibles.
Thanks, Vic.
All right, that's Vic Fangio, and we await Kellen Moore. These are so general. I want to, after Kellen, maybe we can discuss whether we should even carry these.
Yeah, I know.
I'll be honest. I think we're doing due diligence here, and we don't want to miss anything. But I don't know if anybody gets anything out of these things. These guys have to write stories and such, and so they have to go down different angles to develop a story. I get why they need it. I don't know if the listening audience needs it.
Yeah, I don't know if we do a Twitter poll or what we do to try to do it, because I agree with you. I mean, the best part of the Kellen Moore presser is going to be counting the obviously. That's what I want to learn. How many times does he say it?
Yeah, they don't get specific enough to give us any information. Well, I know why they don't, but it's we go through this exercise where they just talk in generalities all the time, and we don't really get much information.
Well, one of the questions was, Vic, how important is it to get takeaways on defense?
Yeah, it's
very important.
It's very important.
Wow.
That's the worst. First of all, that's a terrible for you kids at home studying journalism. You never ever ask a question. How important is it? That there's no answer that can come out of that kind of a question.
No, nothing. I mean, it's.
Now Ray knows that because he went to a great journalism school at Temple. He was, because
correct.
Ray knows not to. Right, Ray? They
Correct.
taught you not to ask a question like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were some of the other questions?
I know Kincade was saying, no other school would they actually teach you to ask a question, but the Temple journalism program. But
I'm not turning this into what you want to turn this into.
I'm just saying.
You want to turn this into
you gotta
something.
go if you want to work in Philadelphia media, sports media. You gotta go to Temple.
Yeah, in Mike's
according
defense, John came at him on the morning show. Mike didn't do it.
Are you asking me to answer for John here?
Yeah, we'll deal with that a little later. But we're waiting for Kellen Moore.
It's Michael Clay that just came up. So
I'm sorry, who did?
Michael Clay.
Oh, Michael Clay.
Oh, so we got time.
All right, let's go to the phones then. Rich in Marksville, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Rich.
Yes. Hey, greetings.
Rich, what are you doing, bro?
I'm actually working. I'm so sorry.
Okay, yeah, we got an echo in the background. Somebody's speaking.
He's working.
Okay, go ahead, Rich.
On the Zoom call?
I think he wants us to put him on hold.
All right, hold on.
We'll put you on hold, Rich.
Put you on hold.
Don't get fired.
Sean's calling from Illinois. Sean, what's up? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I had a great day Sunday watching the Eagles go out there and whoop the Bengals in their all white and black uniforms there, and all the fans were dressed that way, and it was a nice thing to see. But I'm really calling for my weekly Sirianni loyalty phone call.
Beautiful,
my man.
Once again, he's doing great. He learned from his mistakes last year in our downslide of 6 out of 7 losses, and that's all you want from somebody is to improve. And it looks to me like we're headed for our fourth straight postseason with under the reins of Sirianni, whether as a coach or a CEO, as you like to call him. And I hope everybody else is about to jump on the bandwagon because we're going to do it again, folks.
Oh, look at you from Illinois.
I love it.
Is this Bill's cousin?
No relation.
Sean.
Yeah.
Nice job. So let me ask you, before this Sunday's game, did you have the same appreciation for him?
Absolutely.
You did. Now, tell me why. Tell me why.
Well, first of all, everybody's talking about this was the first game where we really clicked as an offense. I don't look at it that way. I know we had turnovers in the very first game of the season, but that's when I really felt we were a team. He had control of the team. We had no first quarter at all, 0. We still put up 34 points. Hurt still put up 270. AJ had 100 yards. Barkley had 100 yards. Our offense has been clicking from day one. It's a tough league to play in. It doesn't matter who you play. If we lose to the Jaguars this week, am I going to want Sirianni fired? No. I mean, the Browns just beat the Ravens. Every week is rough in the NFL.
Well, let me ask you this. Don't you think that they have assumed an offensive identity that is kind of anti-Sirianni?
I'll give that to you a little bit, but we've also never had that type of running back. I mean, we've had some decent backs, but not under Sirianni.
Well,
what do you mean anti-Sirianni? I don't get it.
They had that because he's a pass-happy guy.
Yeah, but go back to his first season. They decided to become a run-first football team, and they ran it all the way to the playoffs. I mean, he's shown a willingness to adjust. He did it his first year. I know last year they didn't necessarily make changes down the stretch. We've had that conversation.
The whole organizational philosophy is not to run the football.
Yeah, organizationally, but I don't think you could say they're going against Sirianni.
It says that he's doing what is necessary. So I'll give him a few feathers.
I think we're balanced. I think we have a great defensive coordinator. I mean, I like listening to this guy's press conference just because he reminds me of the old gruff coach that doesn't want to give anybody too much props.
Yeah. That's because he is an old coach.
Yeah, all right. Listen, as I say, I want like the value of what it is, and you're saying there is value, so that's all good. Like, you know,
little value. You know, even though it's a quick 5-10 minutes, yeah, there's value.
Okay, yeah, it's not a quick 5-10 minutes.
No, it's not.
It goes on for 15 minutes.
But I like Sean.
I like, in doing a show, I like momentum of a show, and I don't know if going to the coordinators interrupts the momentum of a show. That's all. This is all about what the listener perceives. We do a show for the listener. If the listener feels there's, shall we say, probative value, Bill, from our law school days,
yeah,
if it has probative value, then yeah, we're in. My sense is that sometimes it's not specific enough to really be entertaining and worthy of information. But if people like it, then we go with it.
Yeah, we'll have to. I don't know how we measure it, but
listen, you can email us, and my email is mikemiss@bbgi.com. See, sometimes that BBGI messes with people. mikemiss@bbgi.com.
And you know what, too? If Brandon's listening back there, put up a poll on the YouTube chat. We'll get our YouTube chat's opinion on this. We could do a quick poll if they like the coordinator press conferences or not being aired. But before we go to break, because we've been spending a lot of time today talking about Super Bowl contenders and whether the Eagles are.
Yeah.
I just saw an interesting stat. I tweeted it out. There are 2 teams in the NFL right now that have a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense. The Houston Texans and your Philadelphia Eagles. That's it. 2 teams.
By that measure, they're Super Bowl contenders.
How are they not? How are they not? Another fun stat for the
Eagles versus the Texans. Get your tickets.
Possible. Another fun stat for Sean, who called to express his Sirianni love. Nick Sirianni owns the highest career winning percentage by an Eagles coach at 672. He is aiming to become the fastest coach in franchise history to reach 40 victories on Sunday. If he wins on Sunday, will have accomplished 40 victories quicker than any Eagles coach in history. But yeah, let's fire him. Get him out of here. We don't want to win.
So much good.
Can't believe it. Hell yeah is right, Ray. Thank you. Mike's speechless. Mike is speechless because he knows he's coming around.
I wonder if that would have been published prior to Sunday's game. That's all. 610-632-0975 on the other side. Kellen Moore back after this. Kellen Moore's coming up in just a bit. He hasn't gone to the podium yet. The 12 o'clock hour of the Mike Missanelli Show is brought to you by Service First Heating and Air Conditioning. It's 0% financing for 72 months, $500 rebate when you purchase a complete heating and cooling system from Service First. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. All right, let's start out. We're getting a lot of text today because we've announced it early on. Well, at least Bill did, that the Eagles are legit Super Bowl contenders after one convincing game, which I hold back on. I need more. But let's go to the text board because there's a series of texts that have come in. Ray, what do you got here?
All right, so this first text is dated October 21st, 2024, which would be the Monday following the Giants one. Hi, Ray. Please tell Bill to relax. OMG with the Eagles head coach. Enough, please. This is Tom from Apollo Beach. Now, this text comes in today. Good morning, Ray. This is Tom from Apollo Beach. Tell Bill he is right on target. The Eagles are in a great direction on going to get to the Super Bowl, and this year they will win.
It is amazing to me how people can get swayed by one circumstance in this town. God love them, because this is what makes Philadelphia unique. You go from one to the other. You go from a hill to a dale.
Who was it, Tom? Is that his name?
Tom, yes.
Look, I'm not going to shame Tom for that. I understand it. I do. I understand the Philadelphia Eagles fans who were reluctant to jump all in. You were concerned about what happened last year. Your heart was broken when they went from 10-1 and lost 6 of 7 down the stretch. But the water's warm. So come on in. It's okay. Everybody can join in now.
The water's
They're
warm.
5-2. They're headed in the right direction. There's been a lot of change. We can finally put last year behind us and move on. That's right, Mike. The water's warm. You come in too.
I was in the warm water last night in my hot tub.
Oh. You got a little hot tub? Maybe we should.
I was going to say nice hot tub, man.
I was going to say something that was going to be. I was going to say, hey, maybe we should do the show prep together at the hot tub. And that was out. People are going to take that the wrong way.
Absolutely take it the wrong way.
The problem is I can never relax in the hot tub because my dog comes out in the yard, and my dog is addicted to me splashing her from the hot tub. It's annoying as hell. She gets up on the steps in the hot tub and barks until I splash her.
You haven't brought her in yet. I haven't met her yet.
I haven't brought her in. She's a weirdo. So on that note, let me just give you the little dog story, because this happened to me the other day. Now, she likes to go out in the middle of the night. She's going to be an older dog. I guess like older people have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. I don't know what it is with this dog. But when she hops down, I hear her hop down from the bench that she sleeps on, and she moseys on over to my side of the bed and starts harumphing. Like before, and if I don't respond, I hear this. and so I get up. Now I look at the clock. Normally it's 3 a.m. So I go, so I let her out, and she's got, like, Shiba Inus hear everything. They get these ears that stick up. So every little thing they hear. So I go back to bed. What I do is I leave the door open. There's a screen that she can come in. I get back to bed, and I hear in the middle of the night. So the other night, my neighbor, I'm in the backyard with the dog, and my neighbor comes over to the fence, woman, and she goes, "Oh, there's your dog that keeps me up in the middle of the night." Now, how am I supposed to respond to that? That's a rude thing to say to somebody, don't you think?
A little bit.
Where do you get the guts to say something like that?
You know what it is, though? It's similar to, like, when someone's snoring. You hate that person that's snoring. You would consider hitting them with a pillow or doing something worse because you just think it's personal.
Listen,
so even though you're not doing it on purpose.
We'll get back to that conversation in a second, because I have a completely different opposite view. That's a rude thing to say to somebody. Anyway, let's go to Kellen Moore.
What's clicked for him as far as that? It was obviously a concern there for a while.
Jalen's just done an excellent job with the football. Certainly the last few weeks, I think he's doing a really good job making great decisions while still being aggressive. He's playing at a really good level.
You guys used that trips to one side and tight on the backside early on in the game. You guys had a lot of success doing that. Why did you guys feel, what did you see in the Bengals offices, something that we could see a little bit more in the future?
Just a game plan thing, a certain formation that we felt like we had a few indicators that allowed us to get to plays that were ideal versus certain looks. And so every week's going to have different flavors. Certainly we utilized that and emphasized it early in the game just to get some clean plays off.
What are you guys getting out of under center snaps right now?
Under center, by game plan and by situation, obviously there's certainly some really good value to it, and the run game and the potential of action game as we go. And so I think there's been some good stuff in the run game that's kind of allowed us to get downhill the last couple weeks. And so we'll see where it takes us.
You guys have added some wrinkles to the run game in the last few weeks. I guess how much of that is just Outland's influence, and what's that process been like working with him, kind of I guess evolving that side of it?
Certainly, we have an awesome process of really collaborating with the whole entire staff, and Stout certainly that does a tremendous amount of the work as far as just initially during the week, and so we're constantly talking through this thing, finding different ways that we can navigate this while still kind of hanging our hat on certain concepts and presenting different flavors week in and week out.
Jalen said he was pushing for under center snaps. What is the conversation? Why do you think players respond well to that increase?
It's just something we've certainly talked about as a collective group, and so there'll be different opportunities throughout games, and so it's come up the last few weeks, and obviously there's been some positives with it, and so we'll just see where it takes us.
He said he's also pushed just for more of the offense coming out and imposing its will on the defense rather than having everything predicated upon what the defense is doing. What have those conversations been like with him?
It's a balancing act, I think, each and every week of you have a lot of respect for your opponent and all the things that they can do, and you got to account for all the possibilities and prepare the right way while also still doing what you do and what you've invested a lot of time in. And so you're balancing in those two elements week in and week out, and so we're constantly in that tug of war. I think that's how most teams game plan. You have stuff you feel really comfortable with that you can blindly walk out there and just run, while still understanding that they have a presentation that's going to challenge you in different ways, and you're trying to find what balance is best when you create a game plan.
When you had a long drive like the 37-minute drive in the fourth quarter, what's it like from a play caller's perspective? What does that feel like? Does stuff like start clicking, what have you? What was it like?
That was a big time drive for our guys. I think it was awesome. It was really cool because it was kind of that 4 minute, everyone kind of calls it 4 minute ball, but it wasn't just run. It was, we'd sneak in some passes here and there when we got into certain situations. I thought our guys just did an excellent job. It was really crisp. Obviously, we ate a lot of time off the clock, finished it the right way with a touchdown. I thought there was really big-time football in there. There's third down conversions. It was just a really clean, big-time opportunity for our guys.
The Devontae touchdown. Can you walk us through that play and kind of why that was the right situation to call that play right there?
Just an action play, obviously, that sometimes it sits on your call sheet a little too long, and so obviously we're trying to find the place for it. Ran it once earlier this year, and so those guys did an excellent job. At the end of the day, the protection aspect of it was incredible. Jack Stoll was blocking the edge rusher for what felt about 10 seconds, and the action was great. They got movement up front. The routes obviously did a really nice job, and then Jalen and Smitty just making a play. I mean, it was a big-time play.
Get what you wanted with the safety. Is that what you're trying to do? Get with the action specifically with, I guess it's kind of like a fake RPO is what I assume.
Little boot action, and obviously you're trying to get your receivers on safeties and get downfield, and there's a little bit of a matchup thing there, and so those guys have done tremendous. They've thrown it so many times the last few weeks in practice, and for those guys to have the confidence to just go for it, I thought it was an awesome play by those guys.
Kellen, Grant Calcaterra, half his catches this year have been 19 yards or more. What makes him so proficient at those big plays?
Grant's got a great feel for space. He's got a great understanding of the passing game. I think he's really been just hats off to him hopping in here since Dallas went down, and for him to take the workload, the volume that he's taken in the run game, he's done a tremendous job, and then still being viable in the pass game. He seems to make big plays in critical moments, and he's very reliable, and we feel very fortunate to have these tight ends that we do.
How important is it to have a tight end involved in the offense? Last year, when Dallas went down, they really lacked that contribution. How important is it to still have that guy to be able to make catches that he just talked about?
Tight ends are really valuable just because they play in all aspects of the game, and so you want to have them be viable in each situation, and so Grant and Jack and those guys, they've certainly done that.
In the run game, what makes the O-line so good at combo blocks?
Time invested. They've invested a lot of time in it. They're on the same page. They work a lot at it, and so those are certain things that when you put the time and effort into it, you want to invest and give ourselves as many opportunities at the bat, and then have your little change-ups here and there when you need to, just to protect it.
Do you see a difference here with those blocks than you did at other stops?
every place is different. You're going to emphasize different things, and so certainly it's something that we do a tremendous job and we embrace, and we certainly love it. And our guys have just been playing at a really, really high level in those combination blocks. And again, as you build game plans, you just got to protect it. You got to protect it with different looks, whether it's action game or different run concepts, just to protect it. And we'll continue to emphasize it.
Are you finding that AJ and Devontae are getting more one-on-one opportunities because of Saquon's presence and possibly Jalen also as a threat in the run game? Do you think teams are kind of focusing on that and giving them more one-on-one opportunities?
There's potential there. Certainly, as you look at it, when you're in mixed downs, which allow you to say, "Hey, we can run or throw it in these situations." Obviously, we can play to at times what the defense gives us, and certainly when they give us one-on-one opportunities outside, we feel great about those guys. And so, certainly the run game's doing a really good job in the first and second down game, and so we like the mix that we have.
I assume Trey Hendrickson was on the forefront of your mind coming into that game. Have somebody like Fred be able to step up and perform like that in that type of situation, what did that mean to the offense?
Certainly going into the game, we were very aware of, we couldn't let him get going. At the end of the day, though, there are moments and opportunities where Fred's one-on-one, and he did a tremendous job. Big time football, some play action plays where he's truly one-on-one with him. And, you just can't say enough good things about what Fred did on Sunday.
What was your biggest takeaway from your bye-week analysis that helps explain sort of what we've seen since?
I think just finding our rhythm. Just finding, you're able to evaluate 4 weeks of the season, which is, old days, it'd be a quarter of your regular season. And so it's great. You re-emphasize the things that you're doing well. You identify the things that maybe we can evolve or correct. And so everyone goes through those processes, and I feel like we've been heading in the right direction.
Do you remember the first time that it was suggested that Ben play some fullback?
I don't recall the first time, but it was before the regular season.
After the game, Nick said, "Did you have a follow-up?"
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up. And how well has he adapted that, and why do you think he has adapted so well?
Yeah, he's done a nice job. I think he's playing both sides of the field on offense and on defense, and so there's a workload capacity associated with that, and so I think he's done an excellent job of having a role and embracing that role. And when the opportunities present themselves, he's been ready and he's been fired up.
After the game, Nick said the ball didn't touch the ground in Thursday's practice, and Jalen said the way he practices instills confidence in the coaches about the game plan. What do you look for from Jalen, like in those practices in particular, and what do you recall from that session?
Thursday was our third down day, and I thought we did an excellent job, and it showed up that we were on the same page. We got completions. I think the real big aspect of it is we also put ourselves in more favorable third downs, which allowed us to play in those situations that we had prepared for. And so I thought our guys did an awesome job. Jalen did an awesome job. I thought our week was a really, really positive week on the practice field, and it showed up on Sundays. And
are you modifying the call sheet based on what you see in that session?
Every week you kind of go through an initial game plan, and then as the week plays out with practice, with more conversations, obviously you narrow your focus going into each game as far as specifics. Obviously you're going to have more plays in situations probably than you need, but you narrow your focus on what you really ultimately are going to focus on.
Scoring on the opening possession of the first and the second half, what went into the preparation that led that, and what do you glean from that?
Yeah, I think we're obviously the starting point of games has obviously been something that we're just trying to find our groove there. I thought the last the 2 weeks before we got a first down, then we kind of stalled out. In this one, I thought our guys executed. I think the big thing is when you look at opening drives, a lot of times it's first down, second down, a couple third downs in there. I thought our guys did a really good job on first and second down, put ourselves in those positions.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
Is that it?
That's it.
That
Short
was
one,
it?
I guess.
All right, there you go. Kellen Moore.
Only 8 obviously, according to Andrew on
Only 8?
YouTube.
He just dropped 2 in a row on one of the last sentences.
Yeah. Look, they're getting better every week. In all aspects, right?
I want to. How good of a guest would he be at a party?
Kellen?
Yeah. Would you flock to him in conversation? I don't know. Maybe he's the opposite at a party. He was like a big-time college quarterback.
He was
He's
at Boise State, right?
Yeah. So doesn't he have the record for yards thrown, or what? You would think
He has a couple of records. You're right.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, I can't imagine he talks more than just football. Right? He's probably just a straight football guy.
Yeah. All right. You heard it. Let's take a break. We'll come back. 610-632-0975. You're going to chime in. Are the Eagles right now, in your mind, a legitimate Super Bowl contender? I want to hear from you. We're back after this.
Ricky
Mike Missanelli Show. Black Hole Sun.
Won't
That's
you come?
Classic rock tune. At 610-632-0975. We need to rev up this whole discussion that we started out with the Eagles. Bill's on board. Bill is pronounced the Eagles. Now, you're not the only one because there are a bunch of national people that are coming out saying the Eagles are legitimately a Super Bowl contender. I got this one thing right there. The ranking right now goes Chiefs, Lions.
What are you looking at? Which one? Is that the Athletic?
Was this the Athletic? Or
Yeah.
No, this wasn't. Yeah, this is the Athletic. Their model.
Where it has the percentages, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
Chiefs, Lions, Bills, Eagles in that order. And the Eagles are ahead of the Ravens, which is really interesting. And again, this Cincinnati thing has pushed the Eagles into the upper echelon. Now, they're ahead of the Commanders, Vikings, Falcons, 49ers, Packers, all these other NFC teams that you might think are contenders.
And the reason I asked which one you were looking at is because this specific one that the Athletic does, these projections are based on 100,000 simulations of the remainder of the season, which factors in projected strength of schedule, health, all of that. And they're giving the Philadelphia Eagles the fourth best odds in the entire NFL, second best in the NFC. That's what I'm saying. To not declare this team as a true contender is ignoring the evidence. It is ignoring the evidence that's in front of you. They are a true contender this season.
There's the headline. How Philadelphia Eagles return to their Super Bowl form.
There we go.
And listen, they detail it, and they get specific. And a lot of it is because Jalen Hurts has found some kind of a groove where he doesn't have to do too much.
Typically, when you play to the standard, you win.
You're right. Play to the standard. Now, do we have other words of wisdom from him, by the way? Didn't he have...
Unfortunately, there's no audio
there's
of
no
it.
audio. What did he say?
Ray sent it to me last night, so I'll let Ray say it.
What was it,
It
Ray?
was a text to, I believe, Mike Florio, or maybe he talked to him on the phone. Pull this up for you. Because it was...
Wait, he texts Mike Florio?
Apparently they talked off air. You know, like
Really?
this is Florio.
Really?
Trying to find the exact quote. I want to make sure I don't misquote the wisdom we got here. Because they keep... Everyone's got the video. No one's got
think that he, Jalen's phone, right?
I got it,
Mike
Ray.
Florio,
I got it.
This MF is trying to get in touch with me.
I have it, Ray. if you want me to
I
read
got it here.
Okay, go ahead.
A fool isn't a fool for making a mistake. A fool is a fool for refusing to learn, and I'm going to learn from the things that went wrong last year.
Wow.
Love it. I love it when he's talking parables.
What's the first part about that again? I got to write this down. A fool what?
A fool isn't a fool for making a mistake.
A fool isn't a fool for making a mistake.
A fool is a fool for refusing to learn, and I'm going to learn from the things that went wrong last year.
Look at that.
Well said, Jalen. But listen to this. You talk about
The main thing.
maybe learning. Listen to this. Jalen Hurts before the bye. This is coming from James Palmer. 6 touchdowns, 7 turnovers. Jalen Hurts after the bye. 9 touchdowns, 0 turnovers.
Yeah, during the 3-game win streak, 4 TDs, completing 71.2% of his passes, 10.4 yards per attempt, by the way, with a 127.4 passer rating. He averaged in the first 4 games 33 pass attempts. Since the bye week, 19.7. The efficiency has skyrocketed because the Eagles have found the formula where you run the ball 38 times, you limit the throws, and those throws are going to count more because people are geared up to the run. Somebody amongst those 2 wide receivers and the tight end, by the way, is going to be open for a big play.
Those numbers are skewed a little bit, though, because you look at the Giants game, he's not playing in the fourth quarter. And then in the Bengals game, once they got the lead, they didn't need to rely on him as much.
Always got to go negative. Doesn't he always have to go negative, Ray?
I'm just saying.
Bill's always got to go negative. Well, wait a minute. Bill, you went negative?
I'm with you to an extent. But I still think that Jalen can carry this team. Look, we go back to the game against the Browns. He went 16 to 25, 264 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And people want to get on the Browns for being a bad team. They had a very good pass defense. That was the most passing yards they've led up all season, Jalen Hurts did. So This is why I'm saying everything I was concerned about with this team that would have prevented them from being contenders started with the quarterback, and it also went over to the defense. Over the last 3 weeks, I think they've answered that question. The defense continues to ascend. Jalen Hurts continues to play well over the last 3 weeks. And when he says he's learning from his mistakes, if that's the case, what's going to stop this football team from being a contender? What's going to stop them?
All right, let's go to our pal Carrie. She's been home for a long time. She got Sixers on her mind, Carrie, today. Carrie, you got Sixers on your mind?
I do, but I got to start with Sirianni loving.
Oh, there it is, Carrie.
Did it right?
Oh, I love it.
Oh, there it is. Come on,
I
Bill.
love it, Carrie. Sirianni knows how to coach. All right, the only problem, Carrie, is I got some feedback on the song from my wife. And she told me I cannot sing it anymore because it's the most unattractive, cringeworthy thing. So I don't know if I can sing this anymore. My wife's not happy about it.
Bill, you're not wrong.
How about her? She threw a Billism at you.
Yeah.
I did.
She did throw it.
You so well. Oh, my gosh.
You're not wrong.
I don't think you guys have brought up the Sixers. And
We haven't brought them up today. No, we talked about it a little bit. It was a good win. They get their first win against Indiana. And I can't talk about them when they're just incomplete right now. They're not. They don't interest me.
Okay, well, that's what I wanted to talk about.
All
is
right.
this Embiid and George. Do we know tomorrow night if they're on? Are they off? Have we heard? I'm curious.
I would.
I really.
Yeah, I would doubt Embiid plays. George apparently might play. I don't know. Who knows?
Well, at this point,
wake me up when they're complete and they're playing with all these guys, and
I think
But I gotta give.
Ray said Paul George is playing, right,
He is
Ray?
playing?
I didn't say that, no.
Someone told me Diana Rossini reported that he's.
Diana Rossini reported that?
That's what somebody
She's
said.
a football
Not
reporter.
Rossini. I'm sorry. The other woman,
Shelbourne
Ramona
said
Shelbourne.
that they were trending in the right direction.
My
Ramona
apologies,
Shelbourne.
Ramona Shelbourne. Correct.
They were trending in the right
They love
direction.
to tease us, don't they? They love to tease us. I want to say, after I've been spoiled out in the Bay Area for the past 14 years and got to witness the great Steph Curry, Draymond, Thompson, all those guys, and then the young guys this last season, this is so embarrassing for Philadelphia because, and I don't know if you know, but I'm a huge Curry fan. He's my spirit animal. And, I just think that he would not be ever in this kind of position talking out loud to people about not playing back-to-back games. I mean, what is this? This is not good
Well,
for our
listen,
spirit of the
I hear
team.
you. It rubbed me the wrong way, too, that he announced that he wasn't going to play back-to-backs. And so the emphasis is more on not playing than playing. That disturbed me. But we're talking about two different people here. We're talking about a center who's had knee problems in the past, who's lugging a lot of weight, versus a spry little guard.
Yeah.
So
It's hard to compare.
yeah.
Let me ask you, because we brought up Paul George. Violation? He was at the World Series last night rocking Dodgers gear.
Well, he's a Cali guy.
He's recovering from a knee. I don't know. Should he be walking around Yankee Stadium?
Yeah, that's.
I don't have a problem with it. I'm just throwing the question out. I don't have a problem with it. But, there were people who had problems with Sirianni going to a Eagles game or a Phillies game.
Well, it's because they were struggling. He needed to be in the lab.
Yeah, Paul George isn't playing. Maybe he should have that in a hyperbolic chamber or something with his knee.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
Hey, I don't agree with it. I'm saying I guarantee you there are fans out there who think that way.
They didn't have a problem with it till you just brought it up.
Let me say this. If Paul George was rocking Dodger gear and the Phillies were playing the Dodgers, then I would have a monster problem with it.
Yeah, but he can root against the Yankees. That's fine.
Yeah. All right, 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues. And you can get in right now at 610-632-0975. A fool isn't a fool for making a mistake. Words to live by. From Jalen Hurts. Ray, let's go to the text board because we have a lot of people texting in. Texts that are correcting us. Texts that have a personal beef with the text board.
I have a personal beef. with the text
You
board.
have a personal
Ray's
beef.
got a beef.
Oh.
I do.
Well, what's your beef with the text board?
To the texters that do this, please stop. Hey, Ray, read this one on the air. I know that's the goal of the text. I'm going to try to read it on the air. I am not intentionally ignoring your text, okay? I will get to it. Please. And then it's the back-to-back text where it's the same text twice, and both of them start with, hey, Ray, read this one on the air. I can't. I'm trying, man. I want to read your text on the air.
Yeah.
But please.
Of course.
Help me out here.
Don't put pressure on Ray.
Yeah.
Ray.
It takes a lot to go through this text board.
Ray needs to keep his sanity here doing the show with us.
We get a lot of texts.
Yeah.
Texting has become easier
than calling.
You're
right. Now, I personally like the conversation, but I'm okay with the text. Now, what else do we have here?
All right, so we got MJ in Pottstown. Hey, Ray, read this on the air. Mike and Bill are like the odd couple. Anyway, I am totally on Mike Miss' side of their argument. We need to see them against better teams, Ravens, Commanders, etc., before we start talking Super Bowl contenders.
There you go. We are like the odd couple. And you know, since I've been back, I gotta wonder this aloud. Why would anybody choose to listen to the other show that's opposite us? Other than we have fun every day, we're entertaining. Why don't you listen to a nudnik?
You're preaching to the choir, man.
You know, I don't get it.
Preaching to the choir.
All right, so that's our goal. We want to beat their asses. All right. Anyway.
Yeah, so tell your family and friends.
Yeah, tell your family and friends there's a new show in town, and it's a lot more entertaining. So what's the Super Bowl text we have?
That was the MJ check in with the Super Bowl text.
All right, let me just continue this conversation because I'm getting some feedback on my dog thing in the backyard. I always like to check in with people to see if, like, on matters that could be a violation. And this is one of them, because I don't know if I'm at fault here also. So the dog wakes you up in the middle of the night. You have no choice but to take that dog out. Now, am I responsible for taking the dog for a walk, or am I just can let her out in the backyard to do? She has to pee, obviously. So she goes out there and she pees, and in the course of peeing, she's a howler, so she'll howl. Now, so my neighbor says, so that's the dog that wakes me up in the middle of the night. Now, I could see, listen, if I was playing loud music late at night, I'd be in violation, right? That would be a total disturbing the peace situation.
Well,
right?
and it's completely controllable for you to just turn it
it's
off.
Controllable, and I would control it. I have no control over the dog, whether the dog's going to howl in the middle of the night, unless I take the time to leash up the dog and walk the dog in my drawers down the street. Or whatever I'm sleeping in at the time.
But then husbands would be complaining because their wives would be checking you out.
No, not at 3 a.m. There's nobody on the street. So do I have a situation where I'm at fault for letting the dog out because the dog barks? No, and here's my reaction to it. As soon as I hear the howl, I get out of bed again, and I go into the backyard, and I shoo her in. So who's determine the situation for me here? What am I supposed to do?
I'm not 100%. I'm not a dog owner. I love dogs, but I'm not a dog owner.
You can't ignore it. The dog is not going to leave me alone. The dog is going to huff and puff and give me little barks, and I'm not going to sleep anyway. She wants to go out. If I don't get her out, she's going to pee somewhere in the house.
Right. Now, if you did, nothing in there?
No.
All right, Mike almost had a spill.
Yeah, it was the water, though.
Wasn't coffee all over the board, shorting it out like I did?
No, it's not near the equipment.
If you did put on clothes, leash up the dog, and take her for a walk, would that solve the problem? Would she not howl at all at that point?
Probably she would not howl.
She's not going to howl while you're walking her?
She's out in the backyard by herself. She'll hear a noise because she hears everything. And the noise, for whatever reason, her reaction is to bark at it.
See, now,
and a howl. It's a howl. They have a shrill howl. I get it. I get it where it wouldn't be palatable at 3 a.m. to hear my dog. I don't know what I'm supposed to do about it.
Wait, how old is she?
She's 8.
So this has been going on for 8 years?
No. This is just latent. Like like dogs change. So she's gotten more sensitive to sound. They're very sensitive to sounds. These dogs, because they have the ears that prick up.
Yeah.
So no, this is happening later in life.
We're getting some feedback on the YouTube chat on this conversation. Somebody wants to know, are you working on limiting the dog's water after dinner? That could help her not have to go in the middle of the night. Is there truth to this? I don't know.
I don't know. Listen, she has food at dinner time, and she'll slurp a little water after the dinner. I don't know. I don't see her like being like this thirsty dog who's always had the water bowl.
Well, other people weigh in. Andrew says, take the dog out right before you go to bed, and then that'll help get the schedule right. Neil says, anything after 10 p.m., you have to walk the dog to eliminate the bark.
Oh, come on now. It's 3 in the morning. I can't get up, put a leash, and walk the dog. I'm in a situation here. It's my responsibility. She goes out by herself. She loves her backyard. She owns her backyard.
This YouTube chat is against you on this.
Oh, man.
I don't want to read more of them because they're just all against you.
Yeah, text board's not too fond of it either.
Oh, man. Mike.
You people can't put up with a little bark in the middle of the night. Well, here's the thing. Her dog, she has a basset hound.
Oh, that thing
she's
probably.
not listening. All that thing does is bark.
That's a
Every
tough
time the
bark,
dog's
too.
in the yard, I hear the
But are you hearing it at 3 a.m.?
No.
All right, that's the difference, I guess. Right, the text board agrees.
But listen, I'm conscious of it because I go out, chase her out there, and I would shoo her in. When I hear the howl, that's the first thing I do. But I have the responsibility to walk the dog in the middle of the night.
I think you do.
This is the French couple all over again.
It is.
Neighborhood war is beginning. Someone's listening.
I do let her out before I can't control. Listen. This is like a situation that I can't control.
Well, look,
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm helpless here.
I'm going to have a newborn in January. So when you take the dog for a walk at 3 a.m., call me. I'll probably be up feeding the baby. So
I'll be just getting home from the bar,
company.
so we can all talk.
Oh, Ray won't.
Is it going to affect the quality of this show? Are you coming in grumpy?
Me?
Yeah.
One thing you may have learned about me, and if you haven't, you will.
You got a show to do.
I'm never grumpy.
Yeah.
I mean, even if I'm not feeling well, you'll never know it.
You're only hangry.
No flex. no flex. So listen, would it fly? You go, like, honey, I got to do a show. I got to get in there by what time do you come in? You come like 8:30.
I get here about 8. No, I get here about 9.
About 9.
Yeah, I leave my house around 8.
So is there going to be room for
The bigger issue, my wife will be fine.
How are you parceling this out?
Well,
this is your first baby with your wife.
With my wife, and it's my first baby doing this, doing this job. So she'll be fine. What I'm more concerned about is that she's due January 15th. And now with the Philadelphia Eagles being true Super Bowl contenders, we could be in the hospital during a playoff game.
Super Bowl baby.
We could be talking, I may have to go to New Orleans when my baby's only a couple weeks old.
Yeah, are you having a boy or a girl?
Little girl.
Oh, you're having a girl?
Little girl.
Yeah, you're having a boy. I figured you would call him Nick. You would name him Nick. Would be Nicholas.
Oh,
right?
Nicky.
Yeah, Nicky would be.
Nicola-
Oh, yeah, you can go Nicky.
Nicoletta Sirianni Colarulo is what we're naming her. It's a good name.
Oh, we got some dog feedback here. I can't believe I'm getting outpointed on this. Well, don't you think it's rude for the neighbor to go, "Oh, is this the dog that keeps me up at night?" Like, is that a rude thing to say to somebody?
Unless they're at their wit's end.
She says it with with no contempt either. It was like a happy, oh, it's just the dog. She threw me off. Like I thought she
was like passive aggressive.
Well, yeah,
a little bit. I mean, it's better than her coming over and saying, "Hey, shut your damn dog up at night."
No, it's not.
You'd rather her do that?
Yeah, well, I'd rather have the honesty.
I hope she's listening. Why don't you call in?
Like the honesty of Mike, can you keep your dog out inside at 3 in the morning? And I would go, yeah, I didn't know I was disturbing anybody. I'm sorry, but once I hear the bark, I run out and I get her.
Let's hear what.
I'm trying to be a good dog parent, man.
Let's hear what Ryan has to say.
Let's go to Ryan in Philly. Ryan, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up?
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing, Ryan?
Pretty good. So I've been listening to you guys for a long time, long enough for when I remember you actually got the dog.
Yeah. When I wrote a children's book about my dog because she was such an incorrigible. and
So-
now she calmed down completely, but now in the older age, like she's got these little things that she's going through.
Yeah, I mean, I think it happens with every dog. It happened with mine, too. So, like, my dog would wake up in the middle of the night all the time, have to go out. And the only way I would be able to get back to sleep, he'd only have to be out there for, like, less than 5 minutes. He'd be good and then come back in. So, like, my hope is maybe yours can do the same, be in and out real fast instead of having to drop him off and wait.
So you're suggesting I have to take her out with a leash and the whole bit.
You don't have a fenced-in yard?
I do. That's why I keep her in the like I let her go out in the fenced-in yard.
Exactly.
That's where she's howling.
Well, then the neighbor's a bum.
No, I can see where it would bug you. I get it. I don't know what I'm supposed to do about it.
Tell him to take a melatonin.
Oh, melatonin. No, I listen. I know what the right thing to do is. The right thing to do is I have to get out of bed. I get dressed, and I got to put her on a leash and take her out. Now, that's going to mess me up considerably.
Oh, you're going to be a delight to work with every day now. Mike's not going to be getting sleep.
So what I do, she's got a screen that she goes through to get to the backyard. So I'll have to go down. I open the door, but then I go, okay, when she comes back, she'll just come back. And I go back to bed, and I go to sleep like that. And then she finds her way back in, and I'll leave the door open.
Yeah, but if you got to get up and go for a walk, that's a whole different.
Well, that's going to mess my whole pattern up.
Yeah, you're going to be in trouble.
I'm going to tell you another thing she's doing. I think she's seeing ghosts.
You don't believe in ghosts?
I don't, but she does, apparently. Because she's, like, raising her head and snapping, like, biting out of the air. Like, something that she's seeing in the air. And I'm thinking maybe she's seeing ghosts.
Dude, that freaks me out a little bit. Right, doesn't that freak you out a little bit?
Like, she raises her head and starts, like, leaping up, snapping, like she's, like, snatching something out of the air.
Wait, is your house, was it new construction when you got it, or is it a house you bought? Like from some other family?
It was a new construction redo of an existing smaller stone house.
All right, so there were families that have lived there before.
Ghosts.
You got ghosts, dude.
You got ghosts. No way around it. You got ghosts.
There's no ghost. Like,
Could be friendly.
Like, this is at this age. She's just started doing this.
Dogs have a sixth sense with stuff like that, man. I'm scared to go to Mike's house now.
Yeah, the whole prepping the show in the hot tub is off. Not happening.
Believe me, there's no ghost in my house. I would have seen one before.
Ghosts.
And I don't believe in them. They ferret out little animals. So she's like, occasionally I'll see her tossing a mole in the air.
And snapping at ghosts.
And that same neighbor came out one day screaming that she was tossing a mole in the air.
She should be happy about that.
Well, like she was like she was killing a living thing.
Yeah, but moles destroy the lawn.
Exactly. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Missanelli Show has been holding court.
We have ventured into the world of Super Bowl chat. I cannot believe it. One game has flipped this whole thing that the Eagles are getting after beating the Cincinnati Bengals. This is the Super Bowl now, Super Bowl favorites. Chiefs, Lions, Bills, Eagles ahead of the Ravens. Bill Colarulo, who was tooting his horn yesterday, is all about it.
Mike and Bill have been pleading their cases.
This team is absolutely a contender. There's no reason for fans not to be bought in with this football team. And I understand you still have the heartbreak of the way last season ended.
I need to see a lot more than one game over the Cincinnati Bengals. We're on two different plateaus here. I see the stumble coming. And I think the stumble's coming maybe against the Rams, maybe against the Steelers. One of those games is going to be a stumble. And then we're going to go back to saying, well, are they good enough with this head coach, with this quarterback? It's going to happen. So you just got to ride out a season.
The Mike Missanelli Show Holding Court is brought to you by Grunko Law, your law firm when you need help because of an injury. We treat every case like it's Dallas week. Pray for peace, prepare for trial. Now back to Mike Missanelli on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
It is amazing to me how we can shift. We're like the blob of oil in one of those 70s lamps. We shift from one side to the other, right? Because it wasn't that long ago we were talking about the following. The coach is an idiot. The quarterback and the coach have a terrible relationship. How he didn't draft the right players on defense, which was what you were saying early on.
I've been very critical of that.
And now, here we are. One game over the Bengals, and the Eagles are Super Bowl contenders. And I'm not just talking about locally. That's the perception. And I'm not just talking about Bill Colarulo saying it. I'm talking about nationally now. All of a sudden, the Eagles have gotten the respect of a ranking that says, right now, they just trail one team in the NFC, so that makes them a Super Bowl contender. There's the Lions and the Eagles, and then there's everybody else trying to climb up a ladder.
For those who would disagree, for anyone out there who says, you know what, they're not a Super Bowl contender, I want to hear, and not just with the word, the Detroit Lions. I want to know, what is it about this Eagles team that would prevent you from buying all in? Because you look at the offense. What questions did we have for the offense? Cam Jurgens at center. Who's your right guard? How's Jalen Hurts going to play? Well, I think over the last few weeks, all three of those have been answered. Your other concern, the defense. That was one of my main concerns. They now sit in in the top 10 of almost every category. You've seen these young guys really start to perform. Cooper DeJean looks great. Quinyon Mitchell looks great. Hell, Zach Baun, who I thought was going to be a disaster at off-ball linebacker, looks like he belongs. He's playing really well. Nakobe Dean looks like Vic Fangio figured out a way to utilize his skills. I love when he blitzes the quarterback. All of the questions that I had for this team going in have been answered, and I think they're only going to get better. That's why I'm declaring them true contenders after week 9.
Well, I will say this. The offense looks like it's really solid. And when you can win missing an offensive lineman, that means you're good enough all around. Like, the Saquon thing is a constant, right? And even if you stop Saquon, they've got two wide receivers that are better than most every team they're going to play. And one of them is flat out unstoppable. You cannot stop A.J. Brown. You just can't. So there's never really a chance where you're going to shut that part of it down.
I was looking at A.J. Brown's stats before the show. So he's number 2 in receiving yards per game. He missed some games, but in the games he's played, number 2 in receiving yards per game. But maybe even more important, Mike, he is number 1 in yards per target. So when you talk about being unguardable, you just throw him the ball.
Yeah,
he is unguardable.
Flat out unguardable. He really is. And that's for a number of reasons, but mostly because his body gets in a position where you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, he's too good. He is too good. And this is what's bothering me. I got people on the YouTube chat saying, they beat 3 teams with losing records. Okay, first of all, not accurate. Okay, because they beat the Green Bay Packers in week 1, who are sitting here, I think, at 5-2 or 6-2. They beat the Cincinnati Bengals, who, although have a losing record, no one would look at the Bengals and not say that they were contenders to start the year. They got one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL in Joe Burrow. So I think people are not giving the Eagles team enough credit because even as bad as the Giants and the Browns are, I told you they had good defenses. Didn't matter. This Eagles team is a true contender, and fans should buy in now. Enjoy it.
Listen, let me be clear about my position here. I'm less I hold back because I need more information. Like, I don't make a declaration that, oh my God, they're doing a Super Bowl. I need to see a lot more that I saw, like the way they played against Cincinnati. If I see that, I'll come along with it. But I am not going to fall into the batter here.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you just said, oh my God, they're going to the Super Bowl. I'm not declaring that they will go to a Super Bowl.
I think you are.
I am saying that there's no reason to believe that they can't. There's no reason to not consider them as a contender in the NFC. The NFC's not that good. And as good as the Lions have looked, they are not an unbeatable football team. They're just not. And their head coach will make a bad decision that will lose them a game. I guarantee it. Dan Campbell will make bad in-game decisions that will eventually cause them to lose a game.
All right. By the way, I am apparently getting slaughtered on this dog issue. And to this I'll say, you prissy people. You got to have your good night's sleep with no interruptions. You know, I grew up with strays howling in the night. You know, this is not new to me.
You were sleeping with the strays.
I managed to get my brain adjusted. You know, I was going to hear strays. It didn't disturb my sleep. But, of course, the prissy, oh, my God, you can't disturb them. Yeah. Poor dog has to go out. Don't you love dogs? They have to go out. What do you want me to do? Go in the living room. Pee in the living room. Make it harder on my life.
No, I think people are suggesting you should take it for a walk.
Good. People can suggest that all they want. Let's see how they like doing that. I'm a responsible dog parent here.
You love her. We know that.
Exactly.
I'm not
trying
questioning
to do
your
the
love.
best for the dog. And me too. Like, why should I have to have my sleep disturbed? Because she got to an age where she has to go out and pee.
Listen, I'm on board with your sleep not getting disturbed because you're already tough to deal with. I can't imagine if you're coming in here every day with no sleep.
Mike in Northeast Philly does have a suggestion.
What's that?
Get the dog a Wawa iced tea bottle.
Oh, there we go.
Well, first of all, it's a female. So
just nice callback.
Like we can target here.
But that's good. That's good show knowledge.
That's
right
good
there.
show knowledge.
Yeah.
I just want Mike to get his proper due on that one.
That is good show knowledge. I get it. Now, fortunately for me, I can go back to sleep when I let the dog out in the backyard. I go, but if I have to take her for a walk, that's going to interrupt the biorhythms completely.
Yeah, you're going to have to get up.
I don't think I should be punished for having a dog.
Yeah, but your neighbor, to play devil's advocate, is probably thinking the same way. Why should I be punished?
You know what? Turn over. Put earplugs in. How about that? They sell them at CVS. They're like $1 for 30 of them.
That's how you should respond. You should buy them and bring them over to her and say, hey, listen, I heard what you said.
No.
Here.
Yeah, caress the pillow over your head. Like. All right, let's go to Ty in West Deptford. Ty, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Ty.
Hey, Mike.
What's up, Ty?
I'm with you. And welcome back, too. You were surely missed, so welcome back.
Thanks, Ty.
So 2 points. I have a dog point and then a Vic Fangio point.
Okay.
On the dog topic, Mike, I go through the same thing. I really think you gotta wait in the doorway for her.
I do, but I do. Like, sometimes I do that, but I have no control over what she hears once she goes in the backyard. Whether I'm at the door or not, if she hears something, she goes, oh.
Yeah, but
that's a scared reaction. Like, dogs have a scare reaction.
Once she howls and you're at the door, you quickly bring her in a lot quicker than you do.
Well, it's like maybe 10 seconds quicker, because as soon as I hear the howl, I get up and go out in the backyard and chase her in anyway.
Yeah. So it's either that or like someone said, let her out before you.
I do that, man. You have no control over a dog's bladder.
Yeah.
Especially an 8-year-old dog. Because I don't have control over my bladder at this stage. You know what I'm saying, Ty?
Yeah, no, I get it. But yeah, having to walk her in the middle of the night, I just let her out and let her back in.
I know. You put my life in danger, too, walking the dark streets at 3 a.m.
Oh, yeah, the dark streets of the main line.
Seriously.
All right, so my Vic Fangio point. And I'm not ready to say that they're Super Bowl contenders. They've been good, but we'll see. I need them to be more consistent. And I don't know exactly what defense we run. It's like a 4-3, 5-2 hybrid, but the fact that they still drop Sweat or Smith or Huff in the coverage at times, like, that just doesn't make sense to me. They're not true linebackers. They're edge rushers. And that Jamar Chase touchdown in the end zone, like, Vic Fangio should be getting blasted for that because Nolan Smith had no business dropping back in coverage in the end zone.
Yeah, but Ty, it's a way for I don't love seeing your edge rushers in pass coverage, but it's a way for them to simulate pressure. So Fangio doesn't like to bring 5-6 guys, but what he likes to do is to try to confuse the quarterback by bringing the pressure from another position. So if he'll bring the Kobe Dean, he's going to drop Nolan Smith in the coverage. So they sim pressure, and it's worked. When you can't get there.
Listen to him talking football talk.
Yeah.
They sim pressure.
Well, that's
right?
what they're doing. When you can't get there with just your 4 down linemen, which they've been unable to do, you got to do things that can create pressure without having to do. Look, they're obsessed with not giving up the explosive play. So they're not going to bring those all-out zero blitzes. They're not going to do it. But by dropping Nolan Smith in the coverage, dropping Josh Sweat in the coverage, you can now bring the Kobe. You could bring Zach Bond, and it has a similar effect. I'm okay with it. I don't love it, but I'm okay with it.
Did you used to play the video game, The Sims?
I was never a Sims guy.
No?
I was a Madden guy. That's all I played.
No
Madden
Sims
and
where you
NHL.
build your own town and populate. And,
I know people were obsessed with it. I never got into it.
All right, 610-632-0975. All right, so Laura from Rockledge apparently is going to rip the crap out of me over this dog thing.
Oh, is that Laura from Rockledge or Laura?
I think it's Laura from Rockledge.
Also, coming up, people are asking in the YouTube chat, you got to address John Kincade. They want
I will address that situation with John Kincaid's Penn State jealousy after this. pumps me up, this song, man.
Get you going?
Top Gun.
Did you see the new Top Gun?
No. Oh, yeah, I did.
I didn't see it. Is it worth it?
Nah, it's exciting, and, you got all kinds of special effects in there. A lot of people liked it. You can't, listen, once you have an original, they try to do a Point Break. They try to do a Roadhouse. They try to do a Top Gun. You can't top the original.
Nah, I didn't even try to watch the Roadhouse remake.
It was horrible. You can't take perfection like Roadhouse, the campiest good movie in history. You can't, what are you trying to do?
It's also like Roadhouse, I loved it, but it wasn't, it wasn't a great film. It was good because
it was the campiest piece of crap ever, but it was the greatest bad movie that you could ever watch.
Exactly. So you shouldn't remake that. You're not going to capture lightning in a bottle
category.
again.
Like The Last Boy Scout is in that category. It's a horrible movie, but it's entertaining as hell.
Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. You saw that, Ray?
I have.
Oh my God, Ray! How have you seen that and none of the other
it's
great
like
movies?
One cliche line after another.
I can't believe
Ray seen that. Same with Roadhouse. It's like cliche writing. Pain don't hurt. Stuff like that. Like, you take out the trash.
Be nice.
Yeah, be nice until it's time not to be nice.
Great flick.
The first time I got on these airwaves was because of that movie.
Get out.
Anthony brought it up. I was training at that point here on the show, and I came back the next day like, hey, you know what? I watched it. That was the first time I ever was on the Fanatic.
Roadhouse or The Last Boy Scout?
The Last Boy Scout.
Yeah. Another one of those corny ones. Yeah, Point Break, you're right, is another one.
Who was the villain? What was the villain's name in The Last Boy Scout? Who owned a team?
I can't remember. Ray, you know it?
No.
Shelley Marcone.
Yeah, I would not have gotten that.
That
That's
movie
a good
report
point.
was 2 years ago for me.
Oh, funny. All right, let me get to before we get to calls here. This Kincade thing. So he comes on today, blasted Penn State. And Penn State fans are insufferable. Now, he's motivated only by one thing. He's motivated by the jealousy of being an outsider at the party. And I've been talking about this for such a long time. Listen, I get it. Penn State people could be cultish. And I don't buy into it. Well, somebody sees they knows I got a Penn State and they go, we are. I don't go Penn State. That kind of thing turns me on. I don't buy into that. But don't try to make the case like you're Kincade. Like we're having a conversation on the crossover. And he goes, no, Mike. I went to Temple because it was like I wanted the more diversity. Your sister's rear end. You wanted more diversity. You choose Temple. All due respect to Temple. I like their mission. I like their educational mission. But if you haven't, the difference of going to Penn State and Temple is A, you didn't get in Penn State. B, you got in, but you were afraid to leave mommy. Or C, it's more affordable, which it may be minusculely. But don't give me that you preferred going there because any idiot would prefer go to a campus where you would have a college experience. College is where you grow. You cross the bridge from kid to semi-adult. And to do that, you have to learn to be on your own. You have to learn to do your laundry. You have to learn to take after your own affairs. You have to learn to meet other people and broaden your horizons. That's what a college experience is all about. So don't give me Kincade that you wanted to go to Temple because it was more it was more of an urban environment for you. You already knew this environment. To open your mind, you have to explore other environments. That's what college is good for. Plus, it's a hell of a good time. It's the last vacation you're going to have before you have to get serious about your life. Why would you? Temple, you pursue one thing. You pursue credits, and you're going to get a degree. But are you really experiencing college life when you go to Temple? And not that I'm ripping Temple. I think it's a great school for people who want to go there and get their education. But it's different. And you're not telling me that, well, I wanted to go there because I got accepted to Penn State. Kincaid's going to have to show me the letter that showed he was accepted at Penn State because I think it's a flat-out lie.
Ray, I think we're at war with the morning show. I think it's been declared.
Here's the thing that bugs me.
To go.
He says this. He got invited to see Penn State, Ohio State at a viewing party. He goes, I can't go to your party when I'm rooting against you. Now, why would he be rooting against Penn State when they're playing Ohio State? Jealousy. That's the only thing. He doesn't feel he's part of the Penn State thing. So you turn against the Penn State thing. I'm sick of these people.
All right. Now, I will say, Now, I went to Gettysburg. Ray went to Temple undergrad. I went to Temple Law, so we are in the category of Temple people. My wife went to Temple. I don't necessarily root against Penn State, but I will admit there's a part of me that's a little happy when they lose, and it's not because of jealousy.
It's totally because of jealousy.
It's because
they are cultish, and you are outside the party, and you can't stand the cultish part of it.
There's just a little flavor of obnoxiousness
because
from the Penn State people.
You see the obnoxious part because you're not part of it, and that's fine. But though, you're going to go to a party and root against Penn State because you went to Temple?
No, but I don't think that it's jealousy because I don't want to be I don't want to be in.
It's total envy of having a better college experience.
Yeah, see, now this is I'm not going to go into this whole football dynamic that you want to do. I want to speak specifically for the experience that I got at Temple, because maybe back when Temple was totally a commuter school, you could say, all right, yeah, you didn't get that college experience. I got the college experience.
How did you get the college experience?
I was down at Temple for 4 years. I lived on that campus.
What college experience are we talking about with Temple and Urban Campus?
I had a hell of a time. It was a wonderful
everybody
4
will
years.
have a hell of a time in college. What was your college experience? Was there a football environment? Was there a basketball environment when you were there? There wasn't even a basketball environment when you were there.
I covered the teams. I don't know what you want from me.
You had that inside where you were actually in the media doing stuff within the media. That's fine
But
and
that's
dandy.
what I want for my college experience.
Well, yeah, that's what you say you wanted.
That's what I wanted.
But if you wanted a more diverse college experience, you go to a campus where you have to be on your own. You meet other people. You got everything that you want to do is there. That's more of a college experience than you. With all due respect, right?
I was in a city. Everything I wanted was there.
But you have always been in a city.
No, I haven't. I grew up in Montgomery County.
So that you were aware.
Different.
But you were aware of a city. You were aware of happenings in Philadelphia. It's not like you were separate from it.
And I was aware of happenings out in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. That I lived in Montgomery County. That's not the city.
You're poking the bear with Ray. Would you make the same argument then about St. Joe's and Drexel and all these other Philly schools?
Yes. No, well, they're more of a campus than like.
I think it's an outdated view of
St. Joe's
Temple.
has a campus.
They do, but I know most of my friends that went to St. Joe's.
People who stay here are reluctant to go away because they're afraid of going away. You yourself said, I'm glad I went away.
Yeah, no,
you
I
were
am.
3 hours away. You were farther away than Penn State is.
You do get the experience of living on your own when you're a
I think
little
that's
farther away.
tremendously valuable to learn that part of it. Right. I really do. But Kincade in this insufferable thing makes me nuts, because then he makes the case, well, look at all the people in the media here that went to Temple. Well, no kidding. Temple's right here. Of course. The people that graduate from a great communication program, which is now has money pumped into it from Donald Belisario, one of the most successful TV executives ever, is phenomenal, right? So those people that graduate from that communication school, they're going to go all over the place. They might not just be restricted to Philadelphia. They're getting their jobs in Pittsburgh. They're getting their jobs out of state, whatever. What kind of an argument is that the media people here have gone to Temple?
As much as I want to continue this conversation, we got some breaking news that we'll have to address coming up next.
Okay.
Sixers have announced Joel Embiid and Paul George will not play tomorrow against the Pistons,
wonderful.
And they will be reassessed later in the week.
Why would they play against the Pistons? They're going, why do we need that? We'll beat that team anyway. So that's probably
We'll talk about
that's
it coming
probably
up.
prudent. All right, let's get Laura in here. Wants to rip me.
I think we got to hit a.
We got a break.
Yeah,
all right, we'll take a break, and we'll get Laura on the other side.
Hang on, Laura. We'll get to you.
I'm telling some people go, he's so obnoxious. No, I was prompted, and you saw it this morning with Kincade.
John did start it, I got to say.
I'm going to go to a party, and you want me to come to your party and root against him? Like, why would he root against them? Why? Jealousy. That's it.
Benny on Twitter says, Mikey Miss's attitude is exactly why we hate Penn State.
Stop it. Mike Missanelli Show continues. Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5, The Fanatic. All right, let's get some calls in here. It's Laura from Rockledge has been holding. She's going to rip me about the dog situation. Laura, go ahead. Rip away.
Well, hello, Michael. Hello, Bill. Hello, Ray.
Hello, Laura.
Michael, I have a suggestion for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Perhaps you get in on the connection that Bill has with Nick Sirianni that I am convinced is a therapist.
Ooh, you started off with a rip of Bill.
Yeah, what are you coming at me for? What am I catching strays for, Laura?
No. Therapy is a good thing, but I'm convinced you and Nick share a therapist. Anyway, Michael.
Yes.
How is it rude? Okay. For the neighbor to say that to you. How is that rude? It may be passive-aggressive, but it is not rude. What is rude is for you to be waking up your neighbor at 3 o'clock in the morning with your damn barking dog. That's rude. And how you feel like you're in a situation you cannot control is beyond me. You decided to get a dog. You are now responsible for what comes with being a dog owner. And if you're annoyed at the dog barking at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's your dog. Imagine how the neighbors must feel.
This little stuffy Laura her sleep can't be disturbed by a creation of nature. Oh, sorry, Laura. Sorry for disturbing your beauty sleep, Laura.
Really? Are you not pissed off yourself that you have to get up to get your own damn dog?
Listen, the dog is getting a little older. The dog didn't do this until recently, okay? So I apologize. I shoo the dog in as soon as I hear the howling, all right? Now, by the same token, she's got a damn basset hound that barks constantly during the day when I'm home.
You're not even home.
I'm home during the day. My shift ends at 2 o'clock. What do you think I'm doing? Partying?
Listen to your podcast during the day.
I do the podcast a couple times a week, okay? Maybe once a week. Most of the time, I'm just chilling. I go into my backyard, play with the dog. The dog's not barking when I'm playing with my dog. The other dog's barking. Now, should I go over, my afternoon's being disturbed by your dog barking. No, you know what I say? Dogs bark. They're beautiful creatures. I love dogs. They bark. I'm not going to get bothered by a dog barking. All right?
You don't let it bother you.
But listen, I know I'm in the minority here. I get it. I understand that people don't like their sleep messed up when the dog. I'm saying, what am I supposed to do about it? I'm trying to be a good dog owner. I let the dog out rather than have her do it in the house. So I go interrupt my sleep, let the dog out. As soon as I hear the shrill barking, I go out and I shoo her in.
I'm still trying to understand why Laura had to take a shot at me to start the show, to start the call.
It's always about you.
It is.
She destroyed me. But it's about you.
Yeah, I caught a stray for no reason.
And bringing a therapist into it, too.
For no reason. You never read that email, by the way.
Oh, the guy who
the guy who came at me.
Destroyed you. I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
I'm
sorry. He told me to get a new partner. I didn't.
Wow.
Yeah, you believe these people?
I can't believe them at all.
You believe these people?
Not at all.
Hey,
I'm shocked they would have that thought
what I have to deal with on a daily basis, and then I have people emailing Mike to give him more reason to battle me on air.
I should read the reply to him, which will make you really happy.
I know that you're a foxhole guy.
Hold on a second. I'm going to read the reply to you as soon as I get my email back up here. Let's see. Here it is. Jeff, here it is. Jeff, the show is going very well, and in all the numbers and analytics, because we have such a good back and forth discourse. It makes for a good push and pull, which all shows should strive for, as opposed to other shows where there are no disagreements.
So you had my back.
Yes, I did.
Still doesn't matter. Unacceptable.
Unacceptable that someone said something about you? Do you realize the medium that you're in?
Unacceptable. No, you got to have I'll tell you what. You got to have thick skin in this world. People come at you all the time. Somebody just messaged me. They put something up on Instagram. They clipped something earlier in the show. Someone just commented underneath, Bill, please, God, grow your hair back.
Oh.
You got to have thick skin.
I got to be honest with you. The other look was a better look for you. I'm not feeling the. You look. You're a little rabbi-esque.
Yeah, I got the beard going now. The shaved head. I think everyone would agree with you, but I kind of like it. I like being able to just not have to worry about your hair.
All right. By the way, I'm not saying that everybody should go to Penn State. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying that it's beneficial for somebody to go away to spend your college. Whether you're going to Pitt, whether you're going to West Virginia, whether you're going to freaking California. I don't care. I think it just benefits you to mature as a person.
I can agree with you there because going away and experiencing that type of college
So
life.
don't give me your rationale that you wanted to stay in the urban environment. I mean, it's the environment you already know. Know another environment. Expand your heart. That's all I'm saying.
I think it's a little short-sighted for you to compare
Listen,
my
Ray, you went to
Oaks,
Temple.
Pennsylvania
You went to
life
Temple. I
to my
respect
North
it.
Philly
You wanted
life.
to go to Temple. That's fine. I got you.
Well,
But
little
I'm
Ray,
just saying in general.
Little Ray
it
going
really
to the big city. Can you imagine it? Yeah, I could see him with his suitcase, his mom giving him a kiss on the train station platform, rubbing the lipstick off
You
his
think
cheek.
I took the Norristown Manhunt line down?
Good luck, Raymond. We're here if you need us, buddy.
Oh, man. Ray, that's worse than what I said.
That's fine. He went to the middle of nowhere to a D3 school. He said Taco Bell was his night out.
Look,
I don't
now
think
we're-
I have to defend my college experience to that.
Look what John Kincade has done. He's driven a wedge between the
He
show.
has. The rat that he is. Rick in the Northeast. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Rick.
Hey, what's going on, Mike?
What's going on, Rick?
So the Eagles, I mean, dude, they're playing good football. I mean, besides Jalen Hurts with the interceptions, defense looks like they're playing really well. I think they're definitely a contender. I mean,
I didn't say they weren't a contender. I just said I need a little more. I'm not this guy who gets swayed by one game. You know?
Oh, totally. Yeah, no, I get it.
If they play at this level, like they play against Cincinnati, I definitely think they're a Super Bowl contender. But there's a lot of season left. We'll see.
No, the NFC I think is just light. So I think they're in a good position right now.
I agree. They're not, in my mind, though, they're not as good as Detroit right now.
No, but they're better than Washington.
Yeah, but I don't have to worry about Washington. Like, if I'm going to beat somebody in the NFC title game, it's going to be Detroit.
Right, but I mean, with the division and all.
Yeah, first you got to win the division, though.
Yeah, they'll win a division. Right. You know, they'll get the good spot in the playoffs.
Right, and another thing with the movies, I totally agree. I mean, there's so many. They're doing a Goonies 2, for Christ's sake.
No, are they really?
Yes, Goonies 2.
No, you can't. You can't.
Karate Kids was another one. Yeah, the Jackie Chan one was okay, but you just have certain movies.
You know what it is?
Do that good.
I think they milk successful formulas because writers aren't as creative, and they go, okay, it's easier to do this because we'll have a built-in audience for this. I get why they do it, but they never come out to be any good. Like a classic campy movie. First of all, it's a campy movie. How do you do a camp on top of a camp
and
be successful?
You can't do it. I can't believe they're going to do another Goonies. You've seen Goonies, right? So that was more my generation.
No, that wasn't me. Like Goonies had no appeal for me.
When I was a kid growing up, that was a part of my generation. Ray, have you ever seen Goonies?
I don't think so, no.
Hey, you guys, come on. Come on, Chunk.
What we say, the Give Me 3, that's after a campy movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of campy movies. You're right, they shouldn't try to.
You remember the line? Give me 2. You talk. Give me 2.
What is that? That's not
That's Point Break. They're sitting in a car.
That is Point Break.
And Johnny Utah, Keanu Reeves, going to get some meatball sandwiches. Utah, give me 2.
Yeah, that's
2 meatball sandwiches. All right, we go Mike in York. Mike, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Mike.
How you doing today?
What's up, Mike?
How are you, Mike? How you been up to? I'm sorry. Some broad was arguing about your dog was barking at 3 in the morning, and I'm sorry about that. I was waiting patiently.
Yeah, you don't have to call her a broad, bro. You know? Well, let's get.
So,
let's get.
What do you think about the Eagles and the Eagles in Detroit this year, man?
I think it's going to be spectacular. I think it's going to be great, man.
Wait. On the board, it said he wanted to talk about the Dodgers. And he calls up and drops that, and then goes right to Eagles Lions.
Oh, the producers.
Is this
a joke call? The producers are ordered. Like when you tell somebody you're going to talk about something and you don't, they're ordered to zip you out of there.
Yep.
I had no patience for that one.
That was Ray.
I just got ready.
Ray, okay. So I wasn't back
No, I had
The
no
archives.
patience for that.
Ray got rid of him. Mike, did you see what's on the board here? Something we talked about yesterday, how unacceptable it was that Anthony Richardson tapped himself out. Is that why he's being benched?
Yeah, I got to think that's got something to do with it. But he's been terrible.
But still, that's good for
he's
Shane
not ready to
Steichen.
play. It's like that was such a reach when they drafted him. Yeah, he played 10 games. Like,
Well, I think Steichen was trying to capture the same Jalen Hurts type of quarterback.
I get it, but he didn't have that kind. Like Jalen Hurts had a lot of accomplishment.
Yeah, Anthony Richardson just
had 10 games and
he had
I think a
potential.
losing record.
He had potential.
Let's go to Terrell in Philly. What's up, Terrell?
How's everybody doing today?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm all right. So real quick, man, I got a lot of things. Mike Miss, man, that's a violation, man. That's like cutting your grass at 7 o'clock in the morning, man. Somebody gotta check you for that, man. You know you're wrong. Number two, I think Bill has been compromised.
Yeah, but here's the thing about cutting the grass. Hold on,
I can never talk negative about Sirianni again.
Yo, Terrell, I came after him. After the Saints game, I thought his decisions in that game were terrible, and I came after him. But I try to look at Sirianni objectively. I don't love his antics. I don't love what he does on the sidelines. I didn't love what he did after the Browns game.
Yeah, I'm waiting. Yeah, I need you to say something negative about him after I hang up. You got to say at least one negative thing about him.
He can't do it. He can't do it, Terrell.
I'm saying negative things right now. Well, first of all, I'll give you something negative. I think he was one of the worst play callers I ever seen. When he was the play caller to start his coaching career here in Philadelphia, I thought he was terrible at it.
Whoa.
But what
there you go, Terrell.
So I'll give you that. But, Terrell, you have to admit, and there's a lot of things I don't like about Nick Sirianni, but he does win. He does win.
He wins. And Mike, you're wrong also about the movies being untouched, about the originals. Terminator 2 was far better than the first one.
That's a good one,
and
Terrell.
Rocky 4 was better than the original.
No, stop.
Rocky IV was campy.
Yeah.
Total campy. You know, that whole Russian thing was just
entertaining, but you can't say it was a better movie than the first. But Terminator 2 was a very good movie.
Yeah. All right.
What do you mean, kids? You can't scoff at that.
It was okay.
Stop.
He was like, it said on the board, Temple hate. I don't hate Temple. I actually like Temple. I covered a lot of stuff in my career at Temple University. I have great admiration. But what I'm saying, when a guy who goes to Temple starts blasting Penn State, it's only because of jealousy. There's no other reason why you would blast Penn State. Just shut up. You got your college experience at Temple. Why do you need to blast and not go to a party because you're going to root against their football team?
Whether it's jealousy, hate, whatever it is, they'll be happy on Saturday because you got no shot against the Buckeyes.
And that's from a Gettysburg alum.
And he's going to root against him too. It's amazing to me, like this ugliness that filters through people, and it's only motivated by one thing. Why would you even worry about Penn State unless you were jealous?
I was trying to tell you that yesterday. There's an indifference. But you look at me.
Maybe Kincade was an indifference.
You're talking about Kincade. Don't turn this into
well,
me.
this is about him. He made it a point on his show to say Penn State people are insufferable. Well, why? Because his interpretation is jealousy. He's not part of the club. And yeah, I acknowledge there is a club, and I don't buy into it either. I don't do the we are. I just told you that. I've been criticizing the football program for how many years? And I've been accusing Penn State fans of being soft and accepting of minor bowls. I can't get any more honest about it. But don't come over here, you're insufferable, and I'm going to root against him at a party. The hell is that? Nonsense.
Time for closing arguments.
Now, closing arguments on the Mike Missanelli Show. Brought to you by Lowenthal and Abrams Injury Attorneys. Injured in an accident, call 800-876-LAWYER or visit LowenthalAbrams.com.
All right, quick closing argument. Are the Eagles a Super Bowl contender? Right now, they are an NFC championship game contender. For them to be a Super Bowl contender, I need to see more of what I saw against the Cincinnati Bengals. And that has to happen, and it has to start. I know, obviously, we're not going to be worried about Jacksonville, but there are some games that are coming up where they're going to have to deliver the same kind of a performance. But I will say this. They have found a really good formula, both on offense and defense. Running the football, passing out of that, and doing some creative things on defense with Vic Fangio. That's my closing argument. They're good. Are they a Super Bowl team? Not yet, in my opinion.
Very quickly, because we're up against it, they are 100% a Super Bowl contender. All of the questions you had about this team should have been answered over the last couple of weeks, and they are one of only 2 teams who have both a top 10 and offense and a top 10 defense. Things are ascending in the right direction, Michael. Fans should be happy.
All right. Ray's going to a Temple pep rally where they're going to sing the Cherry and the White. Right? Tonight?
Nope.
No.
Come back to your school? Or
No, I mean, I'll probably go there for work later in the week.
All right.
Yeah.
But big day tomorrow. You smarter than Ray?
That's
Probably.
right. Tomorrow is General Knowledge Wednesday. Everybody have put up with my obnoxiousness. Thank you. Have a great night. We'll talk to you tomorrow.